can be used to force votes on legislation opposed or ignored by the majority's party leadership. If one is signed by 218 members, it forces a vote. I urge all members to join us as we press Republicans for an up or down vote on legislation to protect our hardworking federal civil servants, Jeffries wrote. The plan would effectively end the DHS shutdown altogether. The White House has already been keeping ICE and CPB funded with the more than $100 billion made available to the agencies in the One Big Beautiful Bill. Several Democrats told Axios that if the White House doesn't cough up what they deem adequate reforms to immigration enforcement policy, Democrats are content to simply wash their hands of any culpability in alleged ICE abuses. As they're terrorizing people, we're not going to give them any more money, right? So that's where we're at, said one senior House Democrat. I'm Magdalene Rose for the Mike Church Show and the Red, White, and Dude Nation, because ethics in broadcasting matters.
The Crusade Channel, your news talk and Mike Church Show station. The King Dude rules the airwaves because the airwaves need ruling. Live, 7 to 11 a.m. Eastern on CrusadeChannel.com.
Zion's to the left of me, commies to the right, here I am, stuck in the middle with Jews. Where's Charles Coulomb at? 198 him. Jews. Folks, it is a Wisdom Wednesday Mike Church Show live, asking the question of the day.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
Well, I'll tell you. Poop is about to get really real.
The Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire.
No, you can't.
For a safe and secure society.
So I'm calling on Congress to pass these reforms, and I'm going to sign them into law. You call down the thunder, well now you got it. You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Alrighty, our call-in line telephone number, if you'd like to be a part of the program today, 844-527-8723, 844-5Crusade. Email address, same as it ever hath been. I am KingDude at protonmail.com and KingDude at MikeChurch.com. Official Mike Church Show chat room online at CrusadeChannel.com/chat. And today is a Wisdom Wednesday. Boy, folks, what in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here? Maggie's having a little bit of a rough morning because I did an interview yesterday afternoon with Steve Cunningham of Sensus Fidelium, and it's going to broadcast tonight. It'll debut tonight on Sensus Fidelium, and I used a different camera than the one we usually use because I had to run it through StreamYard. And I had to disconnect this one that I'm using today. So just had to disconnect him. And I didn't put it back together. Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall and he fell into pieces, and I forgot to put him back together again. So I think she just got the last part of her setup reconnected. So we should be be good to go. So since we left the airwaves yesterday at 9:36 p.m. Central Standard Time, much hath transpired. Joe Kent resigned while we were on air during the last segment of the program, again demonstrating why live talk shows are important and do things that podcasts can't. So I read the part of Kent's letter to you. We talked a little bit about it with Magdalene, and then we left the airwaves, and I did my interview with Cunningham yesterday afternoon. And then by the time I got back into, then we had our St. Patrick's Day feast, our one Lenten meal for yesterday. And then when I went back to the World Wide Web, I was astonished to find that the 11-tour combat veteran, MAGA veteran, Joe Kent, was a member of the Muslim Brotherhood and is a traitor, a Class A traitor. According to Cheese Dale and Little Ben Shapiro and Mike Levin, get off my show, you big dope. Now, I know someone that personally knows Joe, and as a matter of fact, I know several people that personally know Joe, and Joe is none of these things. Joe is a good Catholic man and someone who has integrity, probably the very definition of integrity. You know, as a matter of fact, President Trump resisted the urge to do what he did to John McCain and call him out. When he was asked about Joe Kent's resignation, Trump demurred. I don't know the guy. I don't know. I guess I met him once or twice or something, and he got appointed. I don't know. I don't know what intelligence he has, but no one's ever seen anything like it. We're beating the Iranians. It's like the 1996 Atlanta Olympic basketball team. It's the dream team. We're beating them. We're killing them all. We're killing them. So yesterday afternoon, I made the unholy mistake of going to X.com to find out that Kent was just the most savage, worst beast in the history of savage, worst beast. You had Cheese Dale. Actually, so the company line is, because his wife works for Max Blumenthal. Max Blumenthal supposedly works for Hezbollah and the Iranian the Iranian mullahs. I don't know. I didn't check any of this stuff out because it's also ad hominem BS to begin with. But then guilt by association. So Joe's wife works for Blumenthal. Blumenthal works for Hezbollah, supposedly. And supposedly, according to the Christian Zionist or Christian Zionist ruling masters, who right now, is there any difference between Zionist right-wingers and non-Zionist left-wingers when it comes to savaging people and to trying to destroy their reputations and lives and doxing them? No, there is no difference. As a matter of fact, I'd say that the ones that are in line with Shapiro and the rest of these crazed fake conservatives are actually worse. Folks, we live in a censorship regime now. The only difference between us and 1936 Germany is we don't have a Hitler as a boss, and we don't have an SS yet. We don't have people actually knocking on my door asking me if I'm the guy that called out some of these people and came to Joe Kent's defense. Because if you do that, now I have been called, get this. I told my one of my friends this morning, I'm like, dude, I have arrived. I am now a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. Hey, Abri, am I an honorary member of the Muslim Brotherhood? Or did you get a hold somehow of the papers that I signed when I joined? Because, I'm sure hanging right out there, right next to my Sacred Heart of Jesus and Immaculate Heart of Mary paintings that I have on the wall. I put my Muslim Brotherhood Employee of the Month card right in between them. So I am now accused of being a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, an Islamist, and a schismatic. Now, I'm wondering, and Middish Chur is wondering, where did she get schismatic from? Then I thought about it, and then I figured it out. I know where she got schismatic from. St. Benedict Center. Our affiliation with Brother Andre Marie, who is not a schismatic, who is the exact opposite of a schismatic. And so I'm a schismatic, Islamist, and honorary, or I guess I'm honorary, member of the Muslim Brotherhood now because I came to the defense of Joe Kemp against these unethical, just unconscionably rotten people. It is a bit disconcerting to see what employment in and to actually be in the employ of an enemy of the United States and the people of the United States, of what it actually looks like. Now, these are white martyrdoms. These aren't red martyrdoms. These are white martyrdoms now. I have a sneaking suspicion that some of these people want to turn these things into red martyrdoms. Because either you are with them, as they tell us, or you are against us. I wonder if Cheesedale is going to go on the X.com and accuse His Eminence, Cardinal McElroy, of also being a member of the Muslim Brotherhood and of also being a schismatic, even though he's not either of the two, but he did make the case for Catholics that this war is not just, it's unjust, it's immoral, it shouldn't have happened, it shouldn't be happening. Where's the exit strategy? Where's the peace plan? What an irony here. The man that was running around for 14 months claiming that, look at all the peace deals, there's 7 peace deals, they should have given me the Nobel. One of the objectives of just war theory is that there must be a plan for peace. Where is it? What is it? Does anyone know? No. So into this cauldron is where we find ourselves here on the Mike Church Show on this 18th of March, 2026. But that's not really the thing that I want to talk to you about, and that I am going to talk to you about during the course of this broadcast. And by the way, there is an almost complete media blackout on the right. You either are drunk with war fever and determined to kill and to ruin anyone who isn't, and then to republish and to reprint the propaganda and the psyops of why this is the greatest thing that's ever happened since, I don't know, March the 25th, 3:15 p.m., 33 A.D. You are either on that side or you are silent. Silent. This is a voluntary censorship program. People who I rely on, who I rely upon for other and differing opinions and points of view on the issues of the day are mum. They are silent, which tells me that is, I'm not going to tell you who it is or who they are because it's multiple people. I understand why they're doing it. I get it. I understand it's an editorial decision. You don't want to get involved, and you don't want little Ben and his gang calling you a Jew hater and an anti-Semite. And so just better to not say anything than to say anything at all. But here, I want to know why we, all of us, aren't asking this question. To me, this is the whole ball of wax as we stand today. Read Joe Kent's letter. He says, I saw the intelligence. There was no imminent threat. Which, okay, now I'm going to throw this out there, and I don't work in these circles. I am not an intelligence officer. I have never been one. I do not have any expertise. I'm an American citizen that has the right to voice my opinion, and I think that the facts of this matter line up thus. So let me explain it to you. The bombing begins at 2 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, March 1st, right? Trump goes on television that morning and says that there was an imminent threat and they were about to take over the Middle East and the Israelis were going to strike and our assets were going to be threatened, et cetera, and that's why we had to join in. We had to hit them first because they would have hit us, and that there was intelligence to back this up. That they had the intel, okay? Well, for what it's worth, ladies and gentlemen, American intel when it comes to the Middle East sucks. These are the same people that gave you WMD and yellow cake uranium nuclear bombs in Iraq that did not exist. So, and all of the other intelligence failures, catastrophic intelligence failures. Oh, no, Mike, the intelligence was right of it. No, it wasn't. And it's happening all over again. So, Marco Rubio, we are told, urban legends now says, was sent to the Hill. Before the bombing began, he was sent to the Hill to go brief the Gang of Eight. Now, look, this is not me saying this. This is part of the historical record. They said this. He was sent to the Hill to go brief the Gang of Eight before the bombing began. So sometime in the evening or late hours of Friday, February 28th, or the early hours of Saturday, March the 1st. And he had with him intel, okay? He then showed them, he briefed them, he showed them what the intel was, told them what President Trump had decided to do with the intel or about the intel, and then we know, the rest, as they say, is his history. So some people go like, I don't understand, what's the point you're making? Joe Kent and Marco Rubio both can't be right. Let me repeat that. If Joe Kent saw the same intel that Marco Rubio and Trump saw, they both can't be right. Somebody's wrong or somebody's lying. So what I want to know, did Marco Rubio, did the Trump administration at the hands of Mossad or whoever get trading places? Did they get Dan Aykroyded? Some people are going, wait, what are you talking about, J.K. Dave? You've never seen the movie Trading Places. Let me just give you a quick snapshot of it. Near the end of the film, Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd and Jamie Lee Curtis and who plays the Coleman, the butler, John Rhys Davies, figure out that the people that put Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy in the Trading Places scenario, the Dukes, they figure out that they're going to corner the frozen orange juice market, and they're going to do it by paying off the Secretary of Agriculture of the United States, who has apparently accepted or taken a bribe to release to the Dukes the Agriculture Department report on the Florida orange crop for the winter of 1981. What it was going to be. It was going to be a big crop or the freeze impact or whatever the case may be. And so the Dukes hired a guy named Clarence Beeks to go and either steal or get, I shouldn't have said taking a bribe of the Agriculture Department because it's implied that Beeks stole the document. So they hired this guy, Clarence Beeks, to go steal the report before it came out. So he goes and steals a report, and then he is to meet the Dukes at a clandestine location, and for $50,000 in cash, he hands them the crop report. And then they take it and read it, and then they hatch their plan to go and buy all the Florida orange juice that they can, or futures on the commodity exchange, thinking that the crop is going to be crap and that they're going to be in possession before the price goes up, right? Buy low, sell high. But the Dukes didn't buy the report from Beeks. Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd kidnapped Beeks and pretended to be Beeks, got the report from Beeks, and then apparently on Agriculture Department letterhead, changed the report, and then handed the faked report, or sold the faked report, to the Dukes. And then the rest of the movie, as you know, is history, that the orange juice intel was faked. So, did someone slide Trump fake intel? Now, I ask this question because in 2003, we all thought that Semicolon Powell was the most noble, most upright, most honorable chairman of the Joint Chiefs in the history of chairman of the Joint Chiefs, which is why Bush 43 sent him to the UN, sent him to Congress, and sent him to other places to go testify and make the case for war based on what? What we now know was bogus intel. Where did the bogus intel come from? Did the United States cook it up at the behest of the Israelis and the neocons in 2003 to launch that war? And what about the intel that Rubio apparently carried with him and took to the Hill? Whether he had an actual document in his hand or whether he had it committed in memory, it doesn't matter. As I said, Rubio and Kent both can't be right. This is the principle of non-contradiction here. This is a yes or no answer. And do I trust Joe Kent's view? Well, maybe Joe Kent got it wrong. Well, why would Joe Kent get it wrong? He's an 11-tour combat veteran who was overwhelmingly approved of by people, MAGA people, in the Trump administration when he was brought on by Tulsi Gabbard. Then we get this. We get this clandestine, this cryptic tweet from Tulsi yesterday. And I'm reading this and I'm going like, what is this? Donald Trump was overwhelmingly elected by the American people to be our president and commander-in-chief. As our commander-in-chief, he is responsible for determining what is and is not an imminent threat, and whether or not to take action he deems necessary to protect the safety and security of our troops, the American people, and our country. By the way, why don't the American people come first? Because troops are American people. Why do you put troops before American people? I don't understand that. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence is responsible for helping coordinate, integrate all intelligence to provide the President, Commander-in-Chief, with the best information available to inform his decisions. After carefully reviewing all the information before him, President Trump concluded that the terrorist Islamist regime in Iran posed an imminent threat. He took action based on that conclusion. What evidence? What evidence? Is she saying that Joe Kent got it wrong and that Kent is the bad guy in this and that Trump is the good guy? I don't know. You tell me.
You want your talk radio shaken.
You look pale, Mr. Bond. I hope I didn't frighten you.
Well, you see, I've always been a nervous passenger.
Some men just don't like to be driven.
Not stirred.
No, some men just don't like to be taken for a ride.
Truth never dies on the Crusade channel. King-sized truth from radio-sized speakers.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-313-7757. 800-313-7757. 800-313-7757. That's 800-313-7757.
Hi, folks. It's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Spirit of 76. The Spirit of 76 details the true story of the writing and ratifying of the U.S. Constitution.
Who authorized them to speak the language of we, the people, instead of we, the states? States are the characteristics and the soul of a confederation. If the states be not the agents of this compact, it must be one great...
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and is packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Spirit of 76 on a 2-DVD or 3-CD set. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723.
It's not tape or a Post-it or a candy bar, but this new 3M
is the freshest spin on true crime shows since dinosaurs were solving cold cases with fossil evidence. Yeah, it's that original, folks.
Mom's Murders and Mysteries. New episodes debut every Tuesday night, 6:30 East, 4 West, exclusively on the Crusade channel. Live talk podcast radio, the way it should be.
Hey, it's the King Dude with another free lesson in stuff you really don't need to know. Did you know that the Carillon de Sacre-Cœur flag was first created in 1903 in the village of St. Jude in Quebec? Its history, however, can be traced back to the Battle of Fort Carillon between the French of New France and the British. The battle took place on 8 July 1758 at Fort Carillon, which is now known as Fort Ticonderoga. Here's another fact for you. The Sacred Heart of Jesus flag that we sell is the original merger of two separate flags. And did you know that our Founders Trading Post is the exclusive maker and distributor of this one-of-a-kind, full-size, beautiful flag? Order a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag right now and take $5 off and get a matching Sacred Heart flag bumper sticker for free. Don't cost nothing. The Carillon de Sacre-Cœur flag will beautify any indoor or outdoor space it flies in, but supplies are limited. Order today at mikechurch.com/flag or call us at 844-527-8723.
If women living near rivers and taking the pill turns the frickin' frogs gay, imagine what happens to men on the same river who don't listen to Mike Church.
Faster than a seething Christian Zionist. The Oracle of Optimism, the Dauphine of Due Diligence, Mike Church here with you on a Wisdom Wednesday. Doing things on air live no one else in the business can do, and at your service today. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at mypillow.com/KingDude. MyPillow.com/KingDude. For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com/KingDude. Don't forget your My Slippers, your My Mattress covers, mattress toppers, My pillowcases, and My socks. I'm still wearing my my wonderful woolen, made in America, My socks. Love those things. Wear them every day. You will love them too. So, for the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, and a My Pillow custom fit and size to fit you and your wife or you and your husband, order one or two today at mypillow.com/KingDude. Tell them I sent you. What else is going on out there? Now, I'm not going to leave you hanging on the Rubio question. Because some people are going to say, well, what do you think happened, GKD? I read all together, and I think that happened. Well, what do we have to go on? We have what Patrick Henry said in his famous speech in the Virginia ratifying convention, or the Liberty or Death speech. You know, I have no way of knowing the future, but by understanding what happened in the past. And then he gives this rhetorical flourish about what the British had done in the past. And then asked the famous question, are fleets and armies necessary to a work of love and reconciliation? So what do we know about American intelligence in the past? As I said last segment, it sucks. That's what we know about it. Is it reliable? I don't work in the business, so I can't tell you the percentage of reliability, but obviously it's not 100% reliable. Is it off? Yes. Has it been used inerrantly to start wars before, previously? Was bad intelligence used to start a war? Yes, we all know it. It's the main reason most of us aren't neocons anymore, isn't it? So when they sell you this dog and pony show, this kabuki theater, this song and dance, that we had the intelligence, and that people were briefed on this intelligence. Pardon me if I'm a bit skeptical. So I asked the question last segment. It's either Joe Kent or Marco Rubio. Pick. Now, I don't know Rubio, and I don't know anyone who knows Rubio, but I do know people, 3, that know Joe Kent. All 3 tell me that he's as solid and as Joe Kent is probably one of the most a man that is filled with the most integrity that these people know. He's very well respected and thought of. So who's right? It's either what Kent says is correct, or what Trump and Rubio and the rest of the neocons are saying is correct. Well, pardon me, and call me an anti-Semite, whatever the hell else you want to call me, if I don't swallow the bait that's on that hook. I don't buy it, and you don't buy it. And look, we're not alone. They're literally, MAGA is now cracked in half over this. You know, if you go to the pages of the, Maggie, did you have it pulled up on this machine, or was it on the other one, the American Conservative?
What are you talking about?
The American Conservative magazine website.
No, I had.
No, I saw the headline earlier today. By the way, oil is still above $100 a barrel today. So is the end near? The oil market doesn't seem to think so. And let me see here. The headline at the American Conservative is, yes, MAGA's fracturing over Iran. This is by Andrew Day. Trump's movement might not survive the war. I am that I am. Thus spake God to Moses, instructing him to say unto the children of Israel, I am have sent me unto you. You all know this. President Trump has been saying something similar lately. I am MAGA. Trump's latest declaration of his MAGA-ness came in a long post on Truth Social. Many Trump voters have been surprised to learn that MAGA is about war on Iran. To be sure, Trump hasn't always been rhetorically consistent on matters of war and peace, but in 2016 he distinguished himself in the Republican primary by lambasting the forever wars, in particular the one in Iraq. And in the 2020 and 2024 elections, he bragged about not starting any new wars in his first term. By the way, there's a famous clip that's out there. People still play it, of Bush looking on that debate stage at Jeb Bush, at Bush 43's brother, Jeff, the former governor of Florida, and looking and going like, your brother got us into it. It was a stupid war, Jeb, and you're all for a new one. I'm not for a new one. No new wars. For 12 years leading up to the 2015 and early 2016 debates, Trump was one of the most outspoken critics of the war in Iraq and the stupidity of it that there was. When he got his Twitter account in 2011, he was still talking about it, and then he started talking about Obama's attempt to start a war with the Syrians and the Libyans at the Arab Spring and all that, and how stupid it was. What in the wide, wide world of sports has changed? You know, they think that you and I are stupid. They think that we don't know that Emperor Julian Yahoo, the apostate, and by the way, some people are going like, where are you getting this Emperor Julian Yahoo? It's Julian the apostate is the one that sacrificed or martyred thousands upon thousands of Christians, some of them by tying them to marble posts. I'm not making this up. This is in the Roman martyrology. By tying them to marble posts and coating them with pitch, tar, and setting them on fire as decorations for his orgies. So in other words, he killed Catholics. And he hated Catholics. Emperor Julian Yahoo, the apostate, is of the same bent. Back to the American Spectator. 14 months later, Trump is proving a war maker and divider. The MAGA movement and the Republican Party will suffer as a result. Hogwash, the White House might say. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt last week highlighted polling which showed that upwards of 85% of MAGA-identified voters support the strike on Iran. That's been the standard sort of line. Well, the people are behind us. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, ladies and gentlemen. I know a little bit about this, and I've been at this craft for a long time. Nations go to war. Political parties don't. Nations go to war. No one in Iran that's being killed, or in Lebanon that's being killed, or anywhere else. Where does it go next? Who knows? No one there is going to distinguish between an American who is a Democrat and an American who is a Republican, or independent, or whatever party you wish to be affiliated with. They're just going to focus on the fact that you're an American. Countries go to war. Sovereignties go to war. Political parties don't. Where are the Democrats on this? Why aren't I hearing Democrats going out there and haranguing Trump about this war? Because they can't. No one can defy Emperor Julian Yahoo, the apostate, and the gang. The 100+ year effort for this moment to drag the United States of America into Israel's war and Israel's attempt to take over and rule the Middle East and to become the Middle Eastern hegemon, where everyone has to bow to Emperor Julian Yahoo, the apostate, and his gang in the Knesset, who have aspirations. And look, this is Netanyahu, Julian Yahoo, the apostate, said it himself. We are now Hamas, a global superpower. He didn't say territorial regions. He said global superpower. Is that what MAGA is? Making Israel a global superpower? Apparently. And then Gray says, or Andrew Day says, that's been sort of the standard sort of reply. The claims that MAGA is fracturing. Joe Kent, an America First Trump official, may have just resigned in protest of the Iran war, and right-wing influencers like Tucker Carlson may be jumping ship, but MAGA voters remain on board, they tell us. Sure, but there are a few problems. First, even MAGA diehards seem terribly gung-ho about striking. Don't seem terribly gung-ho about striking Iran, whatever they may tell pollsters. At an otherwise raucous Kentucky rally last week, Trump's announcement that the U.S. had won the war met with awkward silence. No one denies that MAGA has stuck with Trump through numerous political scandals and likely won't turn against him now, and wouldn't have if he instead had made a deal, not a war with Iran. But MAGA-identified voters constitute around only 15% of the electorate. So Trump didn't win the White House on the strength of their support alone. Rather, he also won over traditional Republicans and independents. So what is happening here? You don't need a PhD in political science to know these are bad numbers in our two-party system, and wars tend to get less popular over time. That's right. Start out here. Yeah, USA, USA. And then Day says even in the polls that Levitt shared, a meager 24 to 32% of independents said they supported Iran strikes. 24%. So a quarter of the precious independent electorate out there went, yeah, we're okay with it. 75% said no. Let me give you another one. I was wondering when I was going to see something like this again, and now I got 1,000. I got a Maggie now. I got 1,000 tabs open. Now I have to find it. You're the one that opened it. Hold on. Yeah, and I can't find it now. I know I have it.
It's there.
How in the world does this happen to me? It's General Michael Flake. Could you just send it to him? Do you have it?
I can, yeah.
This is insane. I have 17,000 billion tabs open, and the problem with that is that I can't see. The tabs are too small to read, so you can't read them. Okay. All right. You all know who General Michael Flynn is. Okay. I just saw this morning. It's very, very long, and I didn't get a chance to read it. And this is not an endorsement of it. I'm just kind of giving you an overview of what's happening out there. Catholic Church under siege. I spent a lifetime studying how nations maintain stability and how they unravel when the pillars that sustain them begin to erode. Contrary to popular imagination, societies rarely collapse in dramatic fashion. Decline usually unfolds quietly. Decline usually unfolds quietly. Institutions that once anchored moral order are gradually weakened while political leaders, media elites, and sometimes even the institutions themselves hesitate to acknowledge what is plainly occurring. I have watched this pattern emerge in fragile states abroad. Today, troubling indicators suggest that similar dynamics are beginning to emerge in the United States. One of the clearest examples is the growing pattern of hostility directed at Catholic churches across our country. Now, let me just stop right there. So there is to be a rally today, I think, or a prayer rally of some sort. Joe Pep, the Catholics for Some Catholics guy, is holding this. Carrie Prejean Bowler is invited, and it's Pray for America event, something to that effect. I obviously was not invited. And at yesterday, they invited Joe Kent to go, and apparently Joe Kent is going to attend. And this is what set off a maelstrom and a firestorm on X over this, the fact that Catholics are getting together to pray. And then now you have the insurrection Barbie element that we've been talking about the last 8 days. And about this alleged Catholic consortium that's trying to take over the United States. And I guess they were going to use people like Joe Kent to pull it off. There's a small problem with that. We're a minority. We're not in positions of power. The only person that could possibly, if you were looking at this from a practical point of view, who could possibly be the cui bono? J.D. Vance. Do you think that J.D. Vance is, does someone in the Trump administration think that J.D. Vance is part of this coup? You know, J.D. Vance has not committed any ink. He has not committed in his emails. And the things that he has publicly said, he just tacitly says, I'm with the president. He says, I agreed with the president when he said the Iranians can't have a nuke. And I am with the president. The president made a decision. I support the president. In other words, being a good lieutenant. That's what he said. He hadn't said anything else about that. He hadn't said anything about the intel. Hey, you want another one? LouRockwell.com. I was wondering, and I was just thinking to myself out loud, I wonder what they have to say about this at Lou Rockwell. So I moseyed on over. And remember during the Ukrainian war, at the start of the Russian liberation of the Donbass, because that's what it was, not a war on Ukraine, a liberation of the Donbass, and the 5 Russian republics in it. Remember, Maggie, we used to get all this amazing, great intel and writing from Demosthenes, the younger dude, and Pepe Escobar. Do you remember Pepe Escobar? You remember us reading Pepe Escobar and me saying that, okay, this dude's connected. Here's Pepe Escobar at LouRockwell.com today. How Iran and China shaped the war chessboard. China's dual-track response to the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran reflects a broader geopolitical and economic strategy that stretches from the battlefield to the global financial system. And he says China is officially responding on 2 parallel tracks to the Epstein Syndicate, or U.S.-Israeli war, or as Frank Wright calls it, our friend Frank Wright calls it, Operation Epstein Fury. The 2 parallel tracks of the Epstein Syndicate, or U.S.-Israeli war on Iran, via a diplomatic spokesman and a military spokesman. Translation, China sees the war both as an extreme political, diplomatic tension, and a military threat. China's military spokesman, a People's Liberation Army colonel, speaks with metaphors. It was he who said explicitly that the U.S. is, quote, addicted to war, close quote, with only 250 years of history and only 16 years of peace.
True story.
Now, I've talked about this before. A child born after November the 12th, 2001, has never known the United States of America in a time of peace. Now we can ratchet this up. Any child born now after March the 1st, 2026 will also now, thanks to Trump and thanks to the wretched Christian Zionists who've taken over our government and foreign agents and assets that are with them, it's very likely we'll never know a time of peace. Is this what we have a union of states for? From time to time, maybe we ought to read the preamble to the U.S. Constitution and see, okay, why do we have a union of states? Well, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, okay, establish justice. This is an unjust war, so scratch that one out. Ensure domestic tranquility. You got people fighting amongst themselves now. People that are pro-Zion and anti-Zion, who are literally and practically pro-America first, and people who are pro-foreign country, nation state of Israel first. That's not domestic tranquility. Provide for the common defense Well, I think that's a debatable one. Promote the general welfare. Your welfare is not being improved. Prices of the things are going to start going up because the fuel needed to transport them from point A to point B it's practically going to double. Oil is now trading at $105 a barrel this morning. The day this insanity started, or the Friday before the insanity started, it was trading at $63 a barrel. Before that, before the saber rattling began that week, it was trading at $56 a barrel. You had oil companies saying that we can't make money at $56 a barrel. It's very difficult. And to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish a Constitution for the United States of America. Tell me what they are ordaining and establishing for the people of the United States today. And now you have all these other elements. Chinese President Xi, says Pepe Escobar, is firmly focused on establishing a long-lasting connection between Marxism and Confucianism. The key contribution of Confucius to political thinking is the precise use of language. Only the one who speaks with precise metaphors and more moral weight is able to govern a nation. So China is carefully developing a steady moral and ethical criticism of the American war of choice on Iran. You imagine this? The commies are looking at us and going like, oh, we say Trump arranged a raw on Iran. Not a good raw, not good raw for China, not good raw for the people of rural. The Chinese are claiming moral superiority. Chi-coms. And Pepe Escobar says, stressing how this is the attack of a nation that has lost its moral compass. The global South totally understands the message. Additionally, the facts on the battlefield show how China has also changed the rules of war in Iran. The Iranian grid is now fully connected to the Beidou satellite system. And again, I don't know anything about these internal things, so I have to rely on you and the audience to ferret some of this stuff out or do the due diligence on it. But in the Ukraine war, Pepe Escobar was very reliable, and his intel checked out. So I'm just going to go with it. The Iranian grid is now fully connected to the Beidou satellite system. That explains how Iran now strikes with precision. And every move by the U.S.-Israeli combo faces a China tech digital wall. All right, folks, we'll continue when we come back. Don't go away.
I couldn't see. I said if I can't feel it, then how could it be? No magic could happen to me. And then I saw you, I couldn't believe it. You took my heart, I couldn't retrieve it. Said to myself, what's it all about? Now I know there can be no doubt. You can do magic. You can have anything that you desire. Magic. And you know you're the one who can put out the fire. You know darn well when you cast your spell, you will get your way. When you hypnotize with
The Crusade Channel, talk radio the way it should be. Broadcasting live from Madisonville, Louisiana, and streaming 24/7 at crusadechannel.com. The Crusade Channel, your talk podcast and Fiorella File station.
Fiorella is the literary savage who skips sensitivity training. She is the librarian who reads and reviews books so you don't have to.
Hello and welcome to the Fiorella Files. On my show, I will be introducing you to books, classic and contemporary, that you must read, should enjoy reading, or should not touch with an 11-foot barge pole.
10 to 11 a.m. Central, every Monday on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
Silver and gold. In these turbulent times, buying silver and gold is such a no-brainer that even snowmen know they should do it. Now, all precious metal dealers claim to be the best, but only one can claim they are endorsed by the King Dude, and that's Miles Franklin. My friend Andy Scheckman's a regular guest on my show and a regular genius when it comes to silver and gold, and I trust him with my silver and gold purchases, and so should you. So email Miles Franklin today for your exclusive Mike Church Show discount price list. info@milesfranklin.com.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-313-7757. 800-313-7757. 800-313-7757. That's 800-313-7757.
Hi, folks, it's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Road to Independence, the movie. The Road to Independence tells the exciting story of the Founding Fathers' struggle to declare independence.
The name of this confederacy shall henceforth be the United Colonies of North America. The said United Colonies hereby severally enter into a firm league of friendship with each other, binding on themselves and their posterity for their common defense against...
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and are packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Road to Independence on DVD and CD. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for cappuccino holy roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Cappuccino Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com. We don't work on Sundays, and you shouldn't work on Sundays, but our priests work every Sunday.
And we literally thank God for that, because who else could turn a lazy Sunday into a spiritual adventure? We invite you to spend your Sundays with our priests on Sermon Sundays, exclusively on the Crusade Channel. Get timely, seasonal, inspirational, and educational sermons from Catholic priests, all wrapped up in the best Catholic sacred chant music that's so heavenly. It might just make your halo glow. That's Sermon Sunday, where faith meets fun without missing a beat.
Catch all new seasonal sermons every Sunday morning, 6 a.m. East to 6 p.m. exclusively here on the Crusade Channel.
And now, for the first time ever, those soul-stirring sermons you soak up on Sunday are available as podcasts Monday through Saturday on crusade.com. Because even divine wisdom needs a replay button. And who wouldn't want a holy encore to kick off their week without the risk of divine intervention for hitting snooze? I need something to listen to challenge my faith and tickle my not-so-nice funny bone.
Well, you won't hear anything about Mondays coming or cheeseburgers in paradise, but you will hear the most brutally honest Catholic-inspired commentary on Parrot Talk. Weekdays.
Oh, this Boats, Beaches, Bars, and Ballads fan sees what you did there.
Weekdays at 2 Central on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on CrusadeChannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
Everybody loves a good trilogy. The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and now the KingDude Seasoning Trilogy. There's Beast and Butt Rub, Acadiana Steak, and the brand new Chicken Mamu Seasoning, a lemon herb-based rub that's won trophies in barbecue chicken cook-offs. Now, we've bundled all 3 spices together, and you can get them for one low price for less than it costs to rent a movie trilogy. And the KingDude offers you is personal money-back guaranteed of your taste buds' complete satisfaction. Order a KingDude Seasoning Trilogy today at shop.mychurch.com.
Hey, Mick. Yesterday's show wasn't enough. It's time to crack open another can of Mike Church Show whooping.
This guy just don't want to win, you know. He wants to bury you. He wants to humiliate you. He wants to prove to the whole world that it was nothing but some kind of a freak the first time.
Hey, freaks don't hear the rocky music before they leave satellite radio.
How about a Fresca?
The Mike Church Show. Weekday mornings on the Crusade Channel. King-sized truth. From radio-sized speakers.
Punk band Lyrics, if you're wondering. Better try playing. Why didn't you play the romantic version? I actually like the Lyrics version better. Mike Church Show here on a Wisdom Wednesday. Are you feeling wise out there? Because the stuff is coming at us fast and furious, my friends. My friend Michael Hitchborn will join us at the top of next hour to talk about some of this stuff because Cheese Dale is also by name gone after Hitchborn. I'm like, everybody likes Hitchborn. I mean, who doesn't like Michael? But the Scarlet, these anti-Israel, and you know, this is the other thing about this name-calling crap. I'm not responding to Cheesedale on X. I responded to her here, where it matters, on this broadcast. And I'll say it again. Call me all the names you want, sweetheart. And by the way, have some respect when you're speaking to your elders. I'm getting a little tired of this as well. Remember when John Sharp came on his show? And I read him a letter. Somebody had asked a question about something that Belloc had written, and Sharp didn't like it. And remember said, okay, who is this guy that wrote you this email? And he asked me privately, and I told him who it was. and then he asked me, he said, how old is he? I said, I don't know. He's in his early 30s, mid-30s. He goes, okay. Then when he came on the show, remember, he said, oh, yeah, and another thing, Mike, you know, these young people that know nothing and want to barge into these conversations and make pronouncements on things they know nothing about, respect your elders and shut up. If you missed the first hour of the program, you may see this. I would imagine that some of them will be repeating it. Cheesedale called me a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, and now I'm quoting now, Muslim Brotherhood, and Islamist, that's open quote, close quote, Islamist, and a schismatic. And then she concludes with her little ad hominem name calling. Well, I suppose things like that should be expected from someone who's a schismatic. The Archbishop of New Orleans, the former Archbishop Gregory Amond Cheese, has approved of a letter of suitability to go speak in other archdioceses or the dioceses of yours truly. That's not schismatic. I asked Father Ken Allen to write me one. He said, let me clear it with the Archbishop. Wrote it for me. I've given you names now. I asked Father Damien Zablocki to write me one so I could go speak to Don from the Bronx's group in Tampa for a letter of suitability. Father Damien asked the Archbishop, and the letter was granted. Don't lecture me about being a schismatic, and don't scandalize me ever again, or I'll sue your ass. I attend and am a member of the parish of St. Patrick's on Camp Street in New Orleans. I know very well and personally well the priest there. His name is Father Garrett O'Brien. Middish Church and I are regulars and well respected and loved at St. Patrick's, which is in the Diocese of New Orleans. It is a diocesan church. As a matter of fact, yesterday morning at 11 a.m., the Archbishop himself celebrated a St. Patrick's Day Mass there. Don't call me a schismatic ever again. I am not a schismatic. I don't even know what that means, to tell you the truth. But if you're going to start hurling insults and you claim to be this great journalist, know the rules of the game. Don't scandalize me and don't libel me. These people think that they can just denounce their way to the truth. You can't denounce your way to an error. You're in error. And so are all the gangs that are with you. You see what's happening here in the United States of America. This foreign country and foreign government that has taken over this movement here has now infiltrated the Trump White House, is now running the show, and is now sending its lieutenants out to savagely destroy and ruin the reputation and the ability of anyone to even support themselves and their families because they have a disagreement. I will not, unlike Dr. Seuss' character, I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like Christian Zionism. I do not like it. And I never will, because it's a heresy. And I'm not a heretic. And I'm not going, pray God to our Blessed Lady, I don't become one. So when they want to take these things and they want to take to social media, their intent is, ladies and gentlemen, just understand this, their intent is to destroy. This isn't to have a spirited civil debate over these things. It's like, you're wrong, I'm right, I am the authority here, I have the backing of the moneyed interests and the people that run the world, including the government, the state of Israel, and I'm going to destroy you if you don't agree with me. Oh, how charmingly American is that? This is a scorched earth campaign. So pray for us, folks, because they obviously don't think that we are that big of a threat, although Cheese seems to think that I am, because in their harangues against people like Hitchborn, they never mention me. And that's fine. That's fine. But I am perfectly comfortable in being in such august company as with Michael. Who else did she savage?
It's a bunch. There's all manner of people.
I know, but by name, she went after Hitchborn. There were like 6 proper names in there of people that are, I suppose, are all Muslim Brotherhood members, propagandists for the Iranian regime, Islamists, and what have you, and schismatics. And let's just throw a couple of other names in here. You're not going to win this information war by name calling. You don't have the intellectual high ground. You lost it, you surrendered it, and you adopted a pathetic, you're playing, as I used to say in grade school, you're playing handball with a curb. Your intellectual argument is you don't have one. There is no argument. And by the way, this is something that does touch upon Catholicism, which is why I put together the 4-part series of Brother Andre Marie's Reconquest shows, episode 111, episode 112. Maggie, you can flash that thing up on the screen, take the QR code and scan it, and become a Founders Pass member this morning, and it's yours for free. For wonderful, hour-long, educational, well-researched, fact-based. This is what the history of Christian Zionism is. These are the people behind it. This is what the church has taught and said about it, and this is the heresy. That's what you get. In 4 parts, episode 111, episode 112, episode 503, and episode 504 about Mike Huckabee's heresy. So who has the intellectual argument? We do. Who has the intellectual high ground? We do. What does that then tell you about the rest of the effort? It doesn't say anything good about the people that are enforcing it and are online, are basically doxing people and trying again to destroy people. Let me just throw something else in. I was reading from Pepe Escobar last segment. I had someone send me messages, several people who say, KingDude, I can confirm the Chinese satellite operation. My response to them, didn't the morons in the Trump administration, the Christian Zionist wackos, did no one tell them that if you took Iranian radars out and what have you and started boasting and bragging about it, and you interrupted oil deliveries to China, that the Chinese might loan their satellite array, which we don't own. The Chinese own it. Might loan their satellite array to the Iranians. Apparently, that's exactly what has happened. Why does that matter? Well, Trump said that the Iran is destroyed. They're decimated. We killed their Air Force. We killed their Navy. They have nothing. They have bottle rockets. They have M80s and black cats, basically. They have Roman candles you're firing, they have nothing. Well, why is the Fox News guy running around with the helmet on today? And why did I just see a message that Israel is bracing for more Iranian retaliation? I thought they were out. I thought they had no ammo. I thought their missile launching capability had been destroyed. You're a liar. The whole damn thing is a lie. Here's some more from Pepe Escobar. As part of their 25-year, let me just reiterate the part about the satellites. The Iranian grid is now fully connected to the Beidou satellite system. That explains how Iran now strikes with precision. And every move by the U.S.-Israeli combo faces a China tech digital wall. There are over 40 Beidou satellites in orbit. That accounts for an excellent Iranian missile accuracy and increased resistance to jamming. As part of their 25-year comprehensive strategic partnership, China has also supplied Iran with long-range radars integrated with satellite systems. The key takeaway is Iran's now much shorter response time compared to the 12-day war. So in other words, a year and a half ago, or a year ago, they didn't have this. Now they do. Russia has helped on a parallel track, allowing Iran to apply in spades what Russia learned in Ukraine about Western systems such as Patriot and Iris-T. It's not only about mass drone saturation tactics. It's learning the Russian way of coordinating drone swarms with ballistic missile volleys. That's exactly what's in devastating effect in the latest stages of Operation True Promise 4. Now, let's focus on the crucial Strait of Hormuz gambit. The key move is Iran only allowing transit for oil tankers whose cargo has been settled in petro yuan. No dollars, no euros, only yuan. In fact, China had already started to end the Bretton Woods petrodollar system in December of 2022 when Beijing invited the Gulf Cooperation Council, that's the GCC, petro monarchies to trade oil and gas on the Shanghai Stock Exchange. Now, couple all of the above with the Chinese 15th five-year plan just discussed and approved in Beijing. Talk about an in-depth, systematic vision. In a quite holistic way, Beijing planners set GDP growth at 4%. The digital economy advancing to 12.5% of GDP. Green energy solutions at 25%, surface water quality at 85%, an avalanche of high-value patents, all that and more equally tabled with hard targets to be achieved and binding indicators all the way to the year 2030. This means the China, are treating economy, energy security, ecology, education, and healthcare as if they are organs of the same fit body. This is how urbanization fuels productivity. A lot of investment in R&D fuels more and more patents. Patents fuel the digital economy, and green energy solutions fuel strategic independence. The latest five-year plan conclusively shows how China is meticulously planning to be the leader of the coming tech future. And this goes way beyond 2030, all the way to the mid-century. Iran's play is not military, it's financially, nuclear. What makes it all easier is that Iran is already offering the model for the rest of the global south to follow. Nearly 90% of Tehran's crude exports are settled in yuan via the CIPS payment system. The global south may eventually lock in the very simple model. Tehran is not saying the Strait of Hormuz is blocked. It's blocked only to the hostile Epstein syndicate, the U.S. and its minions trading in petrodollars. Shipping lanes are being turned in real time into political filters as the global south migrates to the petro yuan. The hegemonic petrodollar since 1974 drops dead. By now, every trader on the planet knows how the petrodollar works. After the 1973 oil shock, the GCC and OPEC agreed in 1974 that oil could only be traded in U.S. dollars. Well, that's now all coming to an end. Congratulations, MAGA people. This is so strategically stupid. And by the by, we keep hearing that AI is coming. We're going to beat them at AI. These people are experts at reverse engineering stuff. You know that, right? They don't invent very much, but they can sure as hell take what you invented and reverse engineer it. And they don't honor our patents. They just don't. How do you propose to fight a war, basically on two fronts now, one against Cuba, one against Venezuela, and now one against the Iranians, and there are morons in there. They're talking about, we might have to go to war against the Turks now. Are you insane? Yes, you are insane. And Trump's asked a question yesterday. Here, play the clip about Joe Kent. Now, he resisted the urge because he doesn't want the military to turn on him. He doesn't want the seditious six to have their way. So Joe Kent, an honorable man, resigns. Trump is asked about it. He served 11 combat tours. And, okay, and he doesn't Tucker Carlson him. He doesn't Elon him. Instead, he decides, no, let me say this.
President, your director of national counterterrorism, Joe Kent, he just resigned today. He said he can't support your conflict with Iran. What's your reaction to that? And did you?
Well, I read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy. But when I read his statement, I realized that it's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was. The question is whether or not they want to.
Where is it written that every country realized what a threat Iran was? If every country realized, why didn't they join you when you tell them you needed their battleships to secure the Straits of Hormuz? Why are the Brits still saying, nope, not going to do it? Keir Starmer was out there yesterday. I saw it yesterday. So was Macron. Saying, no, we're not getting involved. This is not our war. You now, you think about this. Now, some people may be happy about this. The entirety of the Middle East is on fire now. Fire. Planet's got a favor. Well, you got your wish. You have oil assets burning in Kuwait, oil assets burning in the United Arab Emirates, oil assets burning in Saudi Arabia. No one is talking tourism. No one is talking LIV and invitational golf anymore, Mr. President. No one is talking about, I want to go do the ski slope, or the ski slope ride in Dubai now. Nobody's talking. You have slaughtered. You brought it to an end. American tourism in the Middle East is over. No one would be stupid enough. Because you're just inviting the Iranians and some other terrorist organizations to kidnap you and hold you for ransom and then Jim Foley you. No one would be stupid enough. So then, will the Europeans still go? I don't know. What are they going to... Who wants to go vacation on the beautiful beaches of Abu Dhabi today when some semblance of a Scud missile or whatever it is the Iranians are using might land on a building 100 yards behind you off the beachfront? This is a disaster. It's a global catastrophe. By the way, why isn't Emperor Julian Yahoo, the apostate, why isn't he coming out every day making pronouncements about becoming the global superpower and about how they're winning everywhere they're waging war? None of this makes sense. But now, while all this is going on, and MAGA is now in shreds. By the way, big news today. Oh my! Whoa. This is why live radio rocks. Live talk shows are awesome, and podcasts suck. The University of Arkansas has kicked TPUSA out. Now, some of you are going like, that's not a good thing. What are you talking about? Maggie, what's the reason why they kicked TPUSA out?
The president of the conservative youth movement at that university said that they believe TPUSA was using Charlie Kirk's name in vain, in a bad way, because they were putting out information and flyers on campus that said, Charlie Kirk would want you to do this. Charlie Kirk says donate to this organization. Charlie Kirk would back this person or this candidate, and they just feel it's wrong and they want no part of it.
So the bloom is off the Erica Kirk version of TPUSA Rose. I think that's unfortunate. It was going to be off it anyway because they have to go and be with the Christian Zionists. They cannot be in opposition. The money must continue to flow. And if you don't have the money, then the infrastructure that Charlie spent all those years building up and all the people that work for it can't get paid. So now MAGA entities are being sacrificed. Can somebody explain to me how this makes America great again? I'm telling you where you are. Me and Steve Cunningham. By the way, my interview with Steve debuts tonight at 7 o'clock, I think, on Sensus Fidelium on YouTube. Steve and I talked about this, and he talked about he brought up Professor Donald Livingston, and we both love the Abbeville Institute and Donald Livingston. And I said, Steve, you know what's happening now with the disintegration of MAGA? Where for a true Southern Catholic conservative man, where do you put your political capital today? Because I'm not putting it in that movement any longer. Where do you put it? Where do you go? Well, I suppose we have to go back to Stonewall Jackson, don't we? We never really left, but I suppose now that becomes the center of attention. The union's over.
You want your talk radio shaken.
Too many free radicals. Free radicals, sir? Too much red meat and white bread, and too many dry martinis.
Not stirred.
Then I shall cut out the white bread, sir.
Truth never dies on the Veritas Radio Network's Crusade. You want your talk radio shaken.
Too many free radicals. Free radicals, sir? Too much red meat and white bread, and too many dry martinis.
Not stirred.
Then I shall cut out the white bread, sir.
Truth never dies on the Veritas Radio Network's Crusade.
Listen, were you forced into getting a solar contract and now you just don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract, even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-932-1789. 800-932-1789. 800-932-1789. That's 800-932-1789.
The Crusade Channel and the Slaves of the Immaculate Heart of Mary's Sisters present the Saint of the Day.
Hello, Crusaders. This is Sister Maria Junipera with your Saint of today. Today's feast is the feast of Saint Cyril of Jerusalem, who died in 386. He is a doctor of the Church, born in Palestine near Jerusalem. His simple and clear explanations of the Catholic faith, which an innocent child can understand, have been responsible for his being truly and properly proclaimed a doctor of the Universal Church. Here is the way he speaks. Quote, "Believe in the Son of God, the one and only, our Lord Jesus Christ, begotten as God, from God, begotten as light, from light, begotten as life, from life, like in all things to the Father, not receiving his existence in time, but begotten of the Father eternally, and incomprehensibly before all ages. A little while before his death, he was present at the Ecumenical Council at Constantinople, where the heresies of Macedonius and Arius were condemned. After his return to Jerusalem, he died a holy death in the 69th year of his age and 35th of his episcopate. Pope Leo XIII ordered that his office and Mass should be said throughout the universal church. St. Cyril of Jerusalem, pray for us. Thank you for joining us for this brief summary of the life of today's saint. Tomorrow's saint is Saint Joseph. To access all of our Saint of the Day recordings as podcasts, head to crusadechannel.com/saints. You can learn more about our sisters and contribute to the building of our convent by visiting stphilomenaconvent.org. I'm Sister Maria Junipera, and until next time, God bless and Mary keep you.
The Crusade Channel, talk radio the way it should be. Broadcasting live from Madisonville, Louisiana, and streaming 24/7 at crusadechannel.com.
Most Crusade Channel wannabes only get the mission half right.
Men, you are about to embark on a great crusade to stamp out runaway decency in the West.
So why settle for half-baked radio hacks crusading in mono when you can get the real deal on the Mike Church Show?
Now go do that voodoo that you do so well.
In stereo. The Mike Church Show's Great Crusade is on the Veritas Radio Network's Crusade.
Mike Church Show is on here on a Wisdom Wednesday on the Ethics in Broadcasting Network. You know, I wonder when Muse wrote that song and they recorded that back 15 years ago or so, I wonder if they knew that they were writing musical prophecy. Michael Hitchborn joining us top of next hour. Stay tuned for that. This portion of the program brought to you by the all-new Mike Church Show and the Ethics in Broadcasting Network. Dude Nation membership medal or medal member service. It's so cool. There's 2 Rhodium members now. 2. Just go to mikechurch.com/join. It'll take you to the sign-up page. and you can upgrade your membership. Now, here's why you want to do it. If you're premium listening or basic currently, you don't get free access to, for example, the 4-part series on Christian Zionism and the heresy and history of Zionism that I put together as a box set at podcast.mikechurch.com. If you are, though, a founding brother, founding father, or a crusader, which are now gold, platinum, and rhodium medal members, you got access to it. Easy peasy. And then you get the world's finest MP3 player with all the controls you ever asked for, memory of where you left off, a favorite list, recently played list, all in your own. You'll use your account right there at podcast.mikechurch.com. And you get the 4-part series. So you can listen to episode 1. You make it through a half an hour of it. Don't sweat it. Just hit the pause button, walk away. The new podcast.mikechurch.com now you have to be logged in, will remember where you were. Even if you close that window and quit the browser and then open the service up in a new browser and a new window, as long as you're logged in, you pick up where you left off with any of my podcasts now. Any of my recordings, my speeches, all of it. How cool is that? Want to save one for the future? Tap the little heart icon, and now it's in your favorites list. Don't want to favorite that one anymore. You got too many favorites in there. Tap the heart icon on your favorites list, and it's gone. Shigong. So the new service is going to enable us to do so much with thousands upon thousands of amazing audio files that we already have, including my movies and stuff. So you should upgrade today. You should go to mikechurch.com/join. It's an easy way to do it. You can cancel your membership and your membership's account at crusadechannel.com. Your membership is still managed there. For organizational purposes, that will remain. But you can cancel your account and then just go right and upgrade to gold, platinum, or rhodium, and then gain access to all of that. And again, you're kicking it. Look, there's other 4-part, 5-part, 10-part series coming very, very soon, and they're only for premium members. So premium elite is the level that we're calling it. That's gold, platinum, and rhodium. Check them out today. And that also now includes the transcripts through the podcast, which are now so easy to access and you don't have to stop listening. You can listen in while referencing the transcript if you're an elite member. Great new program. I can't wait for you guys, especially those of you who have had constant trouble with podcasts over the last 10 years. This is going to solve your issue. And there's so much more to tell you about. But just go today, mikechurch.com/join. Check it out. Now, what is this flashback clip that you have of Joe Kent, Maggie? Flashback. Here is Joe Kent, who resigned yesterday from the Trump administration and is now public enemy number 1 of every Christian Zionist, fire-breathing Christian Zionist on earth. Here he is 2 years ago when Tucker Carlson was asked about, well, what would happen if we actually did get into a war with Iran?
Let me just ask you one last question, because he called it 60 years ago. You referred to what a war with Iran would do to the United States, and I don't know that a lot of people in this country fully understand what Iran is as a nation state. It's not Afghanistan. What do you think the immediate and then longer term effects of a war with Iran would be on the United States?
Immediately, it would be very bloody. I have no doubt that we could probably defeat some of their air defense and go in there and have another shock and awe campaign. But again, like we saw how the shock and awe campaign in Iraq really didn't actually work in the long run. So I have no doubt that we'd have some immediate results that people would cheer about here in the United States. But Iran, Persia has always been an empire. It's been around longer than any of the other players in the modern Middle East right now, and they are not going anywhere. And right now, Iran has a lot of internal problem. They have a lot of internal strife with the Ayatollah and that government that's only been in power since 1979. But again, if we start conducting strikes in Iran, everyone in Iran will rally around their leader and they will become even more revolutionary. And then we will have Iranian proxies throughout the entire region that will be conducting attacks just like we had in Jordan. And really, in the long term, Tucker, the axis that has been built really since Putin invaded Russia and we decided that, since Putin invaded Ukraine and we decided we were going to throw this massive sanctions package at them, China has come in as a major player, and we are deeply compromised by China. They control a lot of our economy. They control global manufacturing. They're deeply embedded in Wall Street, and they've also made deals with the Iranians. They want access to Iranian petro, not to mention the fact that Biden killed off U.S. energy independence, and now he's going after LNG, and the world's biggest LNG exporters are Iran, Russia, and Qatar. So this axis would become very powerful. If we get deeply involved and deeply entangled with Iran, we are playing right into China's hands, because China would like nothing more than for us to be committing our military industrial base to a war in Eastern Europe, in Ukraine, and then to be committing our conventional military power, our blood and our treasure, back in the Middle East. That will make the Pacific, our actual border, extremely vulnerable to Chinese aggression, or China will simply just watch us bleed out economically as we bleed out on the battlefield on these couple different theaters. It's absolute insanity. It's opening up Pandora's box. And again, for what gain to the American people?
Oh my. Why don't you play that one on your show, little Ben? Why don't you play that one on your little X feed, Cheesedale? Hey, Insurrection Bimbo. Why don't you play that clip on your feed? Because it's all going to come true, unfortunately. And just for the record here, nobody wants this. I don't want this to happen. Maggie doesn't want this to happen. Nobody wants this to happen. Nobody's cheering this on. We were told it wasn't going to happen. We were lied to. We were conned. We thought that there was leadership there that was not and would not bend the knee to the demonic, satanic heresy that is Christian Zionism, because that's what this is all about. Oh, you know, but God will punish us if we don't rush to Israel's defense because Israel needs to destroy Iran. I still don't understand why the Israelis think that they are entitled to and think that they actually can destroy Iran. I think Joe Kent is brilliant on this point. And, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I have, and so have many of you, we've done a lot of reading. We're not as stupid as the Trump MAGA Zionists think that we are. We're just not that dumb. Kent said it. I've said it 1,000 billion times. The empire of Persia dates to the book of Genesis. You know, I brought this up last week. Let me do it again. Maggie, what's the date for the Battle of Thermopylae? I'm just curious. Let's talk about the Battle of Thermopylae for just a moment.
480 BC.
Okay, that's 480 before Christ. 480 years before our Lord. The Persians on the little peninsula on the east side of Greece, known as Thermopylae, this is where Sparta was, right? And there was one of the most famous military confrontations in history. Every military college studies Thermopylae. Every single one of them. There's no exception. You have to know about the Battle of Thermopylae. Just like if you're going to be in the Navy and you go to a naval college, you are probably taught about the Battle of Lepanto. No, they're talking about the battle, you idiot. They're talking about, they're talking about Midway. Well, whatever, dude. Guarantee you they're talking about Lepanto, too. You're talking about Thermopylae. Why do I bring it up? Who did the Spartans battle? Who? In Gerard Butler's movie, 300. Who did the 300 Spartan warriors, who did they battle? Xerxes the First. Or was it Xerxes the Second? Or Xerxes the First? Xerxes the First. Who was Xerxes the First the king of? Persia. Iran. Did you not know that even though the Spartans were ultimately defeated and put up the greatest defense for 300 men in history, watch the movie. Xerxes tells Gerard, but and I realize this is embellishment here, but he tells me, like, dude, I got 100,000 people behind. I got an army of 100,000 behind me. How many of them can you kill? I will be victorious, so just give me the peninsula and just surrender. And of course, the Spartans wouldn't. And as the story goes, because of the spirited fight that they put up, that the Persians ultimately did not conquer Greece, and they went back to Persia. My point is that that's 500 years before Christ. Persia was an empire. Who in their right mind thinks you are going to bring an end to Persia? This is madness. It's insanity. And yet here we are. I'm Donald Trump. We're going to take them out. They only have bottle rockets left. They got bottle rockets now guided by Chinese satellites. We pray for our troops. We pray that they come home alive. We pray that this ends and that peace is the end result. But as Joe Kent just said, dude, you have now activated every Iranian Shia nutcase in the entire Middle East and practically probably now for the rest of the world. You have now activated them, and they now oppose you. Now, maybe they opposed you before, but they weren't going to do anything about it or do anything with their opposition and their hatred. Maybe now they have every motivation now to do something about it. And if they didn't have a nuke before, see Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi, if I'm an Iranian chieftain, you better believe I'm trying to buy one from Pakistan or the Russians. Now, my greatest fear is that these lunatics, Emperor Julian Yahoo, the apostate, and his band of satanic, Satan-worshipping, pederast lunatics are going to see no way out of this other than, well, we just have to kill the Iranian people. We got to stop them. Well, how are you going to do that, Benny? Hamas. We have long-range ballistic nuclear missiles. We're just going to nuke them. Do not chuckle at that or think that is far-fetched. When this thing starts to turn south, and it's going to turn south against the Gulf Coast Coalition, when it starts to turn south, you think the Israelis are going to take defeat? There's two things that aren't going to happen. Number one, the Israelis, with their blackmail campaign and all of the Epstein dirt that they have, are now not going to let the United States out. Your Trump can say, I'm pulling out, Benny. That's it. We're done. I got to open the straits. My midterms are going to go terrible. I'm going to be hated. You're going to be reviled, Mr. President, because you broke your promises. When it starts to go south, do not put it past the Israelis to show the world that indeed they have nuclear bombs, indeed they have IC or ACBMs, and they can transport them, and indeed they will use them. This will then bring the rest of the world. Oh, they're going to bring it. They're going to get involved in the war, all right, Mr. Trump, Mr. President, but they're not going to be on our side, and they're not going to be on the hated Israeli side. They're going to be against. They're going to be contra. What is Israel then going to threaten if the United States tries to pull out? Well, we just got we have some IDF people that have Sharpies down in the Bay that are writing F.U. Hawaii on a nuke. You know, you make partners with lunatics like this. When things go bad and they go lunatic on you, how do you think that might turn out? I want to see Jared Kushner and Mark Levin negotiate their way out of that. Play Digital Media file number 11. Please. By the way, James Fishback is making an announcement at 11 a.m. Central or Eastern today. I believe he said 11. He's going to broadcast it on his X. Provided that I can get the feed, I'm going to broadcast it on the Crusade channel. Here's James Fishback on Joe Kent and his resignation.
Let's get real. You don't know why we got into this war with Iran. I don't know. Not a single American knows, not even the director of the National Counterterrorism Center. His own words in his resignation letter to President Trump today is that Iran posed no imminent threat to the United States and, quote, this war began due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby, end quote. All of our suspicions are validated. Israel, AIPAC, the bought and paid for slaves in the Republican and Democrat Party in Congress pushed us into this war not for our own benefit, not to protect our own people, but to do Israel's bidding because once again, the Israelis are too cowardly to fight. Joe Kent wasn't cowardly to fight. He deployed to war 11 times. He's a Gold Star husband who lost his wife Shannon to conflict. He's an American patriot, and his resignation is the latest sign that the war in Iran is disastrous, reckless, and must come to an end.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you back now. Better short plays, and there's something else we can talk about. I don't know. Tell me what. I do have some other things, but let me take you back to my statement earlier in the hour and what I told you yesterday, or what I determined yesterday today's program was going to be about. What did Marco Rubio tell the Gang of Eight? Now, Maggie, play Digital Media File number 10. Now, I'm just going to let this play because I want to go back to my central argument here. Did the United States, did the Trump administration, did they get bogus intel? Or did they make bogus intel and then give it to Congress as real intel? Think about that. Joe Kent can't be right at the same time Mike Johnson is right. Roll the tape.
Resigned as the director of the Counterterrorism Center. He wrote that he cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. He writes, Iran posed no imminent threat to our nature. It's clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. How do you respond to that and to those other Republicans who say that this war is actually putting foreign interests above domestic interests?
Well, that proposition at the end is clearly wrong. I'm on the Gang of Eight. I got all the briefings. We all understood there was clearly an imminent threat, that Iran was very close to the enrichment of nuclear capability, and they were building missiles at a pace that no one in the region could keep up with. They were far outpacing our allies and friends and us in our defense capability because we had personnel.
So we had to, all right, stop the tape. There's a segment's over anyway, so we had to micromanage the missile capabilities of allies now. Either Kent's right or Mike Johnson is right.
Broadcasting 50,000 kilowatts from atop the tallest radio tower on the planet. We are KRSD, the Crusade Channel, Madisonville. Well, it's what our call letters would be if we were on FM. Crusade Channel News. News you can trust.
Because let's face it, the truth just sounds different. Like a symphony of facts.
And now, from the Crusade Channel News Desk, here's Magdalene Rose.
Hello, Red, White, and Dude Nation. Welcome to Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. I'm Magdalene Rose at the Mike Church Show News Desk. This report is brought to you by all the new Mike Church Show website and Dude Nation membership service. Check it out today at the all-new MikeChurch.com. Here's what to listen to for this hour. A U.S. congressional committee has formally summoned Attorney General Pam Bondi, demanding that she answer questions over her handling of the investigation into convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The Republican chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, wrote in the subpoena letter that his committee is investigating the possible mismanagement of the investigation. The move comes weeks after Nancy Mace, a congresswoman from South Carolina, introduced a motion to subpoena Bondi and accused the Justice Department of a cover-up in releasing the Epstein files. A Justice Department spokesperson described the subpoena as completely unnecessary. Bondi and the Trump administration have faced growing pressure across the political spectrum to release all documents related to the probe. The committee has questions regarding the Department of Justice's handling of the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and his associates, and its compliance with the Epstein Files Transparency Act, Comer wrote in the letter. The Justice Department has also faced criticism over its handling of the files, including failing to redact the names of Epstein's victims. As Attorney General, you are directly responsible for overseeing the department's collection, review, and determinations regarding the release of files pursuant to the Epstein Files Transparency Act, and the committee therefore believes that you possess valuable insight into these efforts, he said of Bondi. Bondi has been asked to appear on April 14, 2026. President Trump's top counterterrorism official has resigned over the war in Iran, urging the president to reverse course. In a letter posted on X, National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent said that Iran posed no imminent threat to the U.S. and claimed the administration started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. The White House dismissed the letter, saying the president had compelling evidence that Iran was going to attack the U.S. first. With his departure, Kent is the most high-profile figure within the Trump administration to publicly criticized the U.S.-Israel attack on Iran. President Trump said on Tuesday that NATO and other allies have rejected his calls to help secure the Strait of Hormuz. Trump, who has been pressing allies to help safeguard the critical waterway to ease a choke point on the region's oil export, is very disappointed in NATO, and particularly NATO allies who privately say they back him. Our quote of the day: faith is to believe what you do not see. The reward of faith is to see what you believe. St. Augustine.
This is a pixel. I'm Groot. Now, if you put a couple of million of these dudes together, you can make a sentence on an LED screen. Put a couple billion of them together, and you can make a whole page. Put 160 billion of them together, and you've got Nina Gaynor's A Garden for Mary children's book. But it doesn't smell like a book, and it'll burn teeny little holes in your kids' teeny little corneas. So is the pixel really their friend? I'm Groot. That's right, Groot. No. But the Founders Trading Post is their friend. And we have actual books with actual kind of kid-smelly pages and pictures, because kids like them pictures. Plus, our little bookstore has everything the kids' parents expect. I'm Groot. Yep, we got the beast and butt rubs, but nope, there is no Helen Reddy played here.
Pick up a copy of Garden for Mary, plus dozens of other Catholic children's books titles at shop.mikechurch.com.
Looking at lifestyle and cultural headlines, our saint of the day is Saint Cyril of Jerusalem, and you can learn all about him in the Saint of the Day podcast at crusadechannel.com/saint. House Democrats are launching a Hail Mary push to effectively end the Department of Homeland Security's now month-long shutdown by funding all of its sub-agencies except ICE and Customs and Border Protection. Democrats are feeling the heat as federal workers miss paychecks and DHS warns of airport closures. They hope their planned discharge petition will at the very least deflect blame onto Republicans. Many lawmakers also question whether keeping the agency shut down is meaningfully incentivizing the White House to negotiate in good faith on immigration enforcement reforms. It's not forcing any change, said Representative Don Beyer of Virginia. In the meantime, we're making people hurt the long lines that can't make us more popular. We're on the right side of ice, but not on the rest. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries announced in a letter to his members on Monday that Democrats will file a discharge petition on a bill to fund TSA, FEMA, the Coast Guard, and other non-immigration DHS agencies. Discharge petitions can be used to force votes on legislation opposed or ignored by the majority's party leadership. If one is signed by 218 members, it forces a vote. I urge all members to join us as we press Republicans for an up or down vote on legislation to protect our hardworking federal civil servants, Jeffries wrote. The plan would effectively end the DHS shutdown altogether. The White House has already been keeping ICE and CPB funded with the more than $100 billion made available to the agencies in the One Big Beautiful Bill. Several Democrats told Axios that if the White House doesn't cough up what they deem adequate reforms to immigration enforcement policy, Democrats are content to simply wash their hands of any culpability in alleged ICE abuses. As they're terrorizing people, we're not going to give them any more money, right? So that's where we're at, said one senior House Democrat. I'm Magdalene Rose for the Mike Church Show and the Red, White, and Dude Nation, because ethics in broadcasting matters.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for Capuchin Holy Roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Cappuccino Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com.
Listen, were you forced into getting a solar contract and now you just don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract, even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-932-1789. 800-932-1789. 800-932-1789. That's 800-932-1789.
Hey, Mrs. McGillicuddy, don't be a satellite radio snob and pass by the Mike Church Show. Come on in and browse.
May I help you?
Oh, no thanks, just browsing.
How long do you intend to browse?
Well, that lady there, you didn't ask her how long she intends to browse. How come you're asking us how long we intend to browse?
You don't look like browsers.
Now that that's over,
How about a Fresca?
the Mike Church Show, entertaining browsers and fans since 1992 on the Veritas Radio Networks. Crusade.
How you doing? Well, according to Shanaka Anselm Pereira, retweeted by J. Arthur Bloom moments ago. The Israelis have set fire to Phase 14 processing facilities at South Pars today. Iran's oil ministry and Tasnim confirmed the blaze, partial production suspension. An estimated 12 million cubic meters per day of gas output is affected. South Pars is the largest gas field on Earth. It produces 70 to 80% of Iran's total gas output. That gas is not just fuel, it's the hydrogen feedstock for the Haber-Bosch process that synthesizes ammonia, which becomes urea, which becomes the nitrogen that half the planet's agriculture depends on. South Pars gas feeds Iranian fertilizer production at its molecular route. The Hormuz permission choke point was already blocking the shipping route. Now the strikes are hitting the production source. The war is attacking the nitrogen supply chain at both ends simultaneously. This is the escalation that collapses every remaining optimistic scenario. Oh, but don't worry. God will strike all of us dead if we don't join them and do this in harmony. Mike Church here with you. It's the final hour of the broadcast today. This portion of the program brought to you by the all-new Dude Gear store. We're going to get Dude numbers up and for sale today. You said yesterday, it'll happen today, I promise. At shop.mikechurch.com. That's shop.mikechurch.com. Too much great stuff there to tell you about, including our Beast and Bud rub. And you know what I had yesterday? I had an El Rey. I had a Manchipia Maria natural wrapper Churchill cigar yesterday from our store. That was for St. Patrick's Feast Day. That was delightful. Get you one or 4 or 10 or a box today at shop.mikechurch.com. Well, this is just plain nuts here now. No, I don't know the Shinaka Anselm Pereira guy, but I have read him before to you when this madness began and a couple of years ago. The hopeful case for the global food system was always the strait reopens, fertilizer flows resume, planting windows are partially salvaged. South Pars burning removes even that. Why would our buddies, and why would our newfound, our bestest friend who's now running the White House, why would our bestest friend Julian Yahoo, the apostate, Emperor Julian Yahoo, the apostate, why would he do this? Now we're making war on the rest of the world's use of fertilizer to feed themselves? Oh, this is good. This is going to make all of Earth great again. What a great idea that is. Let me go to the Dude Maker hotline here and say hello to the founder and El Presidente of the Lepanto Institute at lepanto.in, or .org rather, Michael Hitchborn, who has been on a whirlwind speaking tour and whose name is mentioned in some circles that I'm sure I'm sure that you didn't think your name was going to be mentioned in, Mr. Hitchborn. You anti-Christian, anti-Zionist person. You, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I read this yesterday. I saw your name. Actually, my wife came to me. She goes, "Oh Lord, they've now set their sights on Hitchborn." I was like, "What? Who?" And then I went and I read it, and no one is safe apparently. And you're not allowed to have this contra opinion to this war in Iran, and you're not allowed to have this contra opinion. Ambassador Mike Huckabee, were he a Catholic, would be hopefully denounced by his ordinary as a heretic. And so with this insanity of this Christian Zionism that's going on, that's driving all this, what in the world is going on? Give me your take, man.
You know, I have withheld from speaking about Israel, Zionism, Jews, it's been kind of a non-plus topic for me for decades.
Right.
I don't care. And for people to consistently make it a front page thing and pop it in front of my face, it's gotten to the point where I felt like I needed to say something. And really all I said was what I just told you. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And I don't want to be dragged into Israel's wars. I don't want to be you know what Israel reminds me of? Do you know who Jack Doherty is?
Mm-hmm. Jack Doherty, yes.
Okay, he's that punk on YouTube that goes around and puffs himself up and makes himself look big. He's a short dude.
Yeah.
Real arrogant jerk. And he's got this massive bodyguard. So he'll go walking around through the malls with his arms puffed out, and he'll intentionally bump into big muscular guys, and they'll turn around and start to get offended and turn to him like, "What the heck is your problem?" and get in his face. And then all of a sudden, the big muscular bodyguard steps in the way, and the other guy backs down.
Right.
Jack Doherty, or Israel reminds me of Jack Doherty. They are the same person. Israel runs around and bumps into all of the different, Islamic countries in the world. They make all this noise, and then when the Muslim country decides, we're sick of your stuff, then America steps in. And quite honestly, I'm sick and tired of being that bodyguard and stepping up and trying to defend somebody who's constantly antagonizing and causing all sorts of noise. It just drives me crazy. But that's really kind of my disposition. I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it. So when I try to explain my disposition and say, I really don't care about what's going on in Israel. If we want to have a crusade and take the Holy Land back for Christendom, I'm all for that.
Yep.
But when it comes to non-Christian countries fighting against each other and making, rattling their sabers and just threatening war with each other, do it. Do it. It's not my problem.
But now it is your problem.
Right. And people are forcing it in front of my face. And so when I say, I don't care. It's not my fight. I don't understand why we're there. People are like, oh, well, you're just you're an Islamicist. And I'm sitting there going, I literally named my organization Lepanto Institute.
That's right. Yeah, I'm an Islamist. Well, yours truly has been in the last 16 hours called an Islamist. Apparently, according to Bree, I was made an honorary member of the Muslim Brotherhood, and I am also now a schismatic. And I read some things to her on air. In the off chance that she was curious, I am a member of St. Patrick Parish in the Diocese of Orleans. It's a diocesan church. I have 2 letters, not one, but 2 letters of suitability to speak outside the diocese. I obtained both of them with permission from Archbishop Gregory Amond. I am the furthest thing from a schismatic, whatever the hell that is, as you could possibly be. But it doesn't matter, Michael. This is just the name-calling part of the effort to white martyr anyone that dares to cross the line here and doesn't toe the company line. I'm like you. I don't want to talk about it. I don't care until you put it in my face. And now someone like you have a son who's draft age.
I have 2 sons.
2 sons that are draft age. Mm-hmm. And the other thing that I wanted to get your take on, you and I both thought that America would be made better by electing Trump over Harris. Agreed?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So I campaigned for the man. I defended him through all the lawfare and everything that has happened. And we were assured that I'm not going to get you into World War III. I'm not going to start another war. I'm the peace president and all this. And this, to me, is just like, this is the greatest act of betrayal in my life. I cannot think, and I have been betrayed, never like this. That this betrayal is just, it's awful. It stings, and it matters. It's going to make things worse. All of us are going to have to struggle in ways that we've never had to struggle in before. War is hell. War is hell. Your grandfather. You talked about your grandfather before, who was a vet. I was telling a story the other day. Look, you people don't understand what a real war is. They had wagons that were going around the neighborhoods collecting bacon grease in the 1940s because they didn't have enough nitrates to build bombs. You don't understand what's going to happen here. It's just, well, I wanted your take on that.
On the nature of the war?
No, on just the fact that we voted. We thought we were being good Americans. We thought we were doing something good. Okay, and this is this now is the result.
So I'll say this: I still think that Trump was the far better choice over Harris, and given the choice today, I would still take Trump over Harris. But, the problem is Trump is surrounded by a bunch of people. I think he's being given bad advice. With regard to what's going on in Iran, I don't know what he was told, but we were told by him last July that we destroyed Iran's nuclear capabilities.
Decimated. Obliterated was the word.
Yeah, obliterated was the word. So if that's the case, then I don't understand what this strike was about. I don't understand what we were attacking or what we were obliterating this time around. I don't know what the mission is. I don't know what the purpose of our being over there and fighting them is. If it's about liberating the people of Iran from the oppressive Muslim regime that's been there for 50 years, fine. But make it about that, If that's the case, make the case. Make the case, present it to us, let us weigh the options, and let's say, give us the option or the ability at least to say, okay, I can back this. I can get behind this. But we weren't given that. We were just told, well, Iran's a threat. Really? How? How are they a threat? Well, they sponsored terrorism. Really? Where? Where are they sponsoring terrorism? In the Middle East. It's not here at home. They're not, they sent out assassin squads to go take out Trump. Did they? I mean, that's what we're told.
That's what we're told.
But I don't know that I've seen any evidence to substantiate that. I know that a bunch of leftists decided that they really wanted to take out Trump. Those were apparent. Those were obvious. But in terms of Iran being behind it, I've seen no evidence. So I'm frustrated. I'm irritated, and the whole situation stinks. And now my gas went from $2.35 a gallon 3 weeks ago to $3.79 a gallon. It's affecting me here at home. So forgive me for having an opinion. And I'm sick and tired of people like Bree Dale saying, well, if you oppose this, you're an Islamicist. Bull crap.
Michael Hitchborn of the Lepanto Institute on our Dude Maker hotline for us. The other day, when Hex's pastor, when the video came out with him saying, well, no, you can't have Marian processions. No, that's a Blessed Virgin. You can't have a Eucharistic procession, all that. This is a chance. And I said, look, I've had it with this. We've always opposed this and always talked about it. But I don't go into Protestant churches and tell you can't have your guitar band and the Battle of Jesus bands and your rock climbing wall and your coffee shop. That's not me. It's not my bag. I don't do it. Don't you dare. Don't even think that somehow that you have some sort of moral and religious high ground that you are going to tell good faithful Catholics that we're not going to have Marian processions anymore if we live in Protestant wonderland, right? And to me, this was one of, and you can just see that they're getting more and more bold than this. when Huckabee, when Mike Huckabee told what he told Tucker Carlson, and you're a Bible scholar, you're a Catholic, you have to be, you know this. There is no salvation in the Old Testament. You cannot be saved by Genesis 12:3. It doesn't save you. You only get saved by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and the Passion narrative, which is coming up. That's what saves you. You don't get saved by this silliness here. You can almost see and feel that there was a change. And my political affairs contributor, Magdalene Rose, she traces this back to Charlie. She thinks that Charlie was the one that was keeping President Trump away from the neocons and was talking to him and telling him, don't believe that. Don't believe, you don't need to bomb Iran. You don't need to disinvade. Don't believe them. And then that it goes back to Charlie. No, you called today on 9/12. You called, right? Remember? You and I talked about this. Yep. Did you think at the time, now that Charlie is gone, and Charlie was a calming and a non-interventionist voice, apparently, did you think, we could not have possibly have known at the time that and it may be that that's what this is tied to, that Charlie's assassination would ultimately lead to a war in Iran, in the Middle East, which we were promised we weren't going to get.
I think that it's at least plausible that Charlie was the calming voice that prevented us from going into Iran and attacking them the first time around. I think that that's very plausible. Whether it's actually the case or not is impossible to say, but I think that it's at least plausible.
And then we have what has happened just in the last couple of weeks here, and that is Carrie Prejean Bowler being kicked off this fake Religious Liberty Commission here for basically telling the truth. And I'm going I did a little bit of research into her. She's a recent convert. It's not like she was a Catholic for 15 years and was going to the Latin Mass and studying the Church Fathers. She was a dispensationalist. She said it. She told Tucker, I was a dispensationalist. I was. She goes, and then I wanted to learn more about it, and so I started reading the Church Fathers. Isn't that amazing that she converted because she read Origen, because she read Augustine, because she read our saint today, Michael, St. Cyril of Alexander. You read it, right? And then she converted to the faith. And then what they did to her. This is not what I voted for.
Yeah. No, it's not what I voted for either. And, I think that sticking to domestic... What happened to America First?
Right.
That's really where I kind of am with this. What happened to America First? My general disposition is that American interventionism overseas almost always ends with a worse situation. I've not seen American interventionism actually give us something better. And, here's an interesting thing. In that whole online back and forth on my Facebook page after I said, look, my disposition is simply we should be focused here on things here at home. I don't understand why we're over there in the Middle East. It doesn't seem to be something that we need to really be involved in. I'm not really in favor of having military bases all over the world, simply because I don't think we need to be up in everybody else's game. It's not our disposition. It's not our work.
Right.
And so what I got hit back with was, well, you would not have gone in and stopped Hitler. You would have just handed Europe over to Hitler. And I'm just like, really? We're jumping to that? But, okay, if you want to play that game, let's just turn right around and take a look at what actually happened. We handed half of Europe over to Stalin. How is that better?
Well, that's an intellectual response. You're not going to get a response to that.
No.
But can I say something on your behalf? I've known you for a very long time. This guy is not a political animal. He just isn't. Now, if you want to know about Catholic Relief Services, that's your guy. If you want to know, about the association of the association of what is it, the priests associated, the AISCO,
AUSCP.
The what?
AUSCP.
The AUSP. He's your guy. If you want to know about the history of Lepanto, he's your guy. If you want to know if a Catholic charitable organization is actually Catholic and charitable, Michael's your guy. He's not your guy if you want to know about the finer points of Middle Eastern foreign policy and whether we should have an ambassador there or not. He's not your guy. So let me just say that in your defense, you're not a political person. You're a Catholic intellectual, and you're an activist too. And I think you pride yourself on being an activist. That no, these people are stealing from people, basically lying to them, and thus it's kind of a theft. I'm going to alert people here to what it is they're doing, and that's what you've done. What, for 15 years now? Longer? No, 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
For you to be dragged into this, and you would have just handed Europe over in England to Stalin or to Hitler or whatever here.
Yeah.
These are the actions of people that are not serious and are desperate, and they're just like they're a bunch of playground bullies. And because they have money behind them, they think that they can just destroy people. Taking shots at Joe Kent, none of these people were taking shots at Joe Kent 2 days ago. Now, all of a sudden, he wouldn't have stopped Hitler from taking over Europe. He probably was in on it. Now, Mark Levin basically claiming that Joe Kent is leaking state secrets to Tucker Carlson now, and maybe there ought to be an investigation. None of this was happening 2 days ago. So this is the old, if you're not with me, you're against me ruse here. And I don't appreciate it when I see good people like you. That's what I said. I said, I got to call Hitch. When I saw her come after you, I was like, why? Why? And how did you gain the high ground? You work for a man that says that Jesus, our Lord, was nothing more than a common criminal and got what he deserved. So if you want to guilt by association, sweetheart, let's have at it. But this is not making America great again. It's not. And look, you now have Catholic infighting where you didn't think you would have Catholic infighting before.
Right.
And that to me, that just tells me who's behind this. And it's not God. It's not Jesus.
Right. Well, it's funny. I think it was sometime last year, Bree Dale, again, tried calling me out. She tried to make a case that, just because I didn't want to be Israel's great defender and go out there and support Israel and put out troops on the ground to defend Israel. Suddenly, I'm an Islamicist and I want Islam to spread all over the world. And I said, just because I'm opposed to supporting Israel does not mean that I therefore support Islam. I can be opposed to both.
You named your organization Lepanto. It's named for a battle that sank the Ottoman Empire's navy to the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea. Yeah. It's just laughable. Okay, final question. I know you're tired. You've been jet setting and all around the country. Did you ever think that you would get in writing a just war analysis from Cardinal McElroy?
No.
You had to have seen it. I was shocked. I was stunned. And I went, hey, His Eminence is actually onto something here. But I never thought, and I did not have that on my 2026 bingo card. Did you?
No, I didn't, especially since most of the time the bishops are very averse to talking about anything with regard to just war theory.
Mm-hmm.
But, with that said, I'll also point out, when it comes to what's going on with Iran, I've never made this about whether it's a just war or not.
Mm-hmm.
My whole disposition is whether it's prudent and whether this is something that is actually of an American interest.
Mm-hmm.
Those have been my qualms. I don't see this as something that really has anything to do with American interests. I don't think that this is something that is prudent for us to get involved in. And all I've seen are excuses as to why we should be over there. I've not seen any real evidence that Iran had any kind of weapons that could do any harm to U.S. citizens here at home. I've not seen any evidence that Iran is actually engaged in terrorist activities. You know, we hear consistently, well, you know, it's done through proxies. You know, Iran supports ISIS and Hezbollah. And it's like, okay, show me the money then. Show me the intelligence telegrams that show that say, you know, I am so and so from Iran, and I am going to tell you over here in Hezbollah that I want you to bomb this U.S. Navy base. I have not seen anything even remotely close to that kind of evidence. All I get is, well, this is what we're told. I'm sorry, is that coming from the same CIA that has been orchestrating things and pulling all sorts of strings and lying to us for decades about all sorts of stuff going on all over the world? Forgive me for not trusting the CIA.
Michael, you remember that $3.65 a gallon gas that you mentioned just a bit ago? Next week or in the next couple of days, it's going to go up north of $4. Brent crude just cracked $110 a barrel. This on the news of the sacking of that gas field in southern Iran. So gas prices are going to continue to go up. Inflation is going to come roaring back. And, well, God help us all. Michael, as always, now the website is lepantoin.org, right?
That's correct.
lepantoin.org. I just want to make sure I had it right. We'll sign up for Michael's email newsletter, and you actually get the video on Friday afternoons, the video chat, and all that stuff, which I'm sure is a great time. So support the Lepanto Institute, lepantoin.org. All right, brother. Our best and love and hugs and kisses to your wife and your beautiful family. How old is little Gemma now?
Gemma is 5.
Oh my goodness! I could not have known you for that long.
Yeah.
That is amazing in and of itself.
And Damien is 2.
I remember when little Gemma was born. And I remember when little Damien was born, but I remember Gemma, you and I were talking every week and pretty regular. So I remember. Well, it sounds like they're all doing fantastic, so they're all doing well. That's great. God bless you, brother, and Mary keep you. Keep up the great work. We'll talk soon.
Roger that. God bless you. God bless your audience.
All right, thank you very much. It's Michael Hitchborn there here on the Mike Church Show. $107.76 an ounce right now. I mean, a barrel. I'm sorry. I said an ounce.
We knew.
High water mark was $108.27. The headline that I had said it cracked 110. I don't see it on the chart, but 108, 110, 220, 221, whatever gets the job done. We're going to take a time out. Our final segment is coming up next here on the Mike Church Show and the Ethics in Broadcasting Network.
You want your talk radio shaken.
Do you expect me to talk?
Not stirred.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Truth never dies on the Veritas Radio Networks. Crusade.
Hello, Red, White, and Dude Nation. I'm Magdalene Rose at the Mike Church Show News Desk with your crucials for Wednesday, March 18, 2026. This report is brought to you by the all-new Mike Church Show website and Dude Nation membership service. Check it out today at the all-new MikeChurch.com. Here's your In the Market report. The NASDAQ Composite leading the charge gained 0.47%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average edged up to 0.1%. The Russell 2000 outperformed the major averages with a 0.7% gain. Investors focused on the start of the Fed's two-day policy meeting. Policymakers are widely expected to keep interest rates unchanged on Wednesday. Crude oil prices climbed roughly 3% due to escalating conflicts in the Middle East, with crude oil settling above $103 a barrel. Delta Airlines surged 6.7% after raising its revenue forecast, boosting the broader consumer discretionary sector. NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang's optimistic outlook of the GTC conference and expanded robo-taxi partnerships with Uber, up 4.2%, supported growth sentiment. Micron Technology rallied 4.4% ahead of its upcoming earnings report on strong memory chip demand. In National Calendar Day news, today is National Sloppy Joe Day. Our quote of the day, "Faith is to believe what you do not see. The reward of faith is to see what you believe," St. Augustine. You're listening to The Mike Church Show and the Red, White, and Dude Nation.
Hi, folks. It's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Spirit of 76. The Spirit of 76 details the true story of the writing and ratifying of the U.S. Constitution.
And here I would make this inquiry of those worthy characters who composed a part of the late Federal Convention. Sir, give me leave to demand, what right have they to say, "We the people"? Who authorized them?
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and is packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Spirit of 76 on a 2 DVD or 3 CD set. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-313-7757. 800-313-7757. 800-313-7757. That's 800-313-7757.
Everybody loves a good trilogy. The Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and now the KingDude Seasoning Trilogy. There's Beast and Butt Rub, Acadiana Steak, and the brand new Chicken Mamu Seasoning, a lemon herb-based rub that's won trophies in barbecue chicken cook-offs. Now, we've bundled all 3 spices together, and you can get them for one low price for less than it costs to rent a movie trilogy. And the KingDude offers you his personal money-back guaranteed of your taste buds' complete satisfaction. Order a KingDude Seasoning Trilogy today at shop.mikechurch.com.
Hey, Mrs. McGillicuddy, don't be a satellite radio snob and pass by the Mike Church Show. Come on in and browse.
May I help you?
Oh, no thanks, just browsing.
How long do you intend to browse?
Well, that lady there, you didn't ask her how long she intends to browse. How come you're asking us how long we intend to browse?
You don't look like browsers.
Now that that's over,
How about a Frisca?
the Mike Church Show, entertaining browsers and fans since 1992 on the Veritas Radio Networks. Crusade.
He can see she
Marcus Tullius Meridius Maximus Augustus Stone Cold Dude Austin here at your service on a Wisdom Wednesday. This portion of the program brought to you by the all-new Dude Gear store at shop.mikechurch.com. Featuring my Cooking with the King Dude rubs, Katie Anna steak seasoning, chicken mamu, and beast and butt rub, my Manchipia Maria cigars. As I was saying last segment, I had a wonderful church show yesterday afternoon to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. It's one of those sizes that people don't know that we have, but we do in the natural wrapper, and it's a really nice smoke. Check it out today, along with all of our book listings and Maggie's rosaries, handmade rosaries, and much more. All at the same place, shop.mikechurch.com, shop.mikechurch.com. Oh, don't forget, today I am wearing a proselyte tie. Today's proselyte ties, have the Jerusalem cross and the black and the maroon variety. You can get all 16 styles of proselyte ties, the official necktie of the Mike Church Show, at shop.mikechurch.com in the Dude Gear store. This just out a couple of, half hour or so ago. This is from Trump's Truth Social. I wonder what would happen if we finished off what's left of the Iranian terror state and let the countries that use it, we don't, be responsible for the so-called straight. That would get some of our non-responsive allies in gear and fast. President DJT. TKD, it's just a negotiating tactic. It's nothing more. You're just trying to negotiate. You're just trying to scare the allies into action. That is incredibly stupid. Yep. This is incredibly dangerous. So what does finish off mean? Are we now seriously considering using a nuclear or nuclear devices to incinerate and vaporize the population of Iran? Or is he talking about, we know where all your oil fields are, we're just going to blow them to kingdom come? Oh, that'll make America great again. Oh, let me tell you, nothing's going to get the economy roaring back to life like detonating bombs in oil fields in one of the principal primary oil exporters on Earth.
I thought we didn't need their help.
But Trump, you just said in your rambling incoherence, Mr. President, you just said 2 days ago, we don't need their help. We played the soundbite. Screw them. We don't need them. We don't need your help. We don't need your help. So what, is this retaliation at Europe now? What in dude's holy name is going on here? I am now receiving hate mail from people. I am now receiving hate mail from people who are tired of me talking about this. And I guess who are going into fits of depression over it and want to check out of life. And I just say again, we didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this. As I was just talking to Michael Hitchborn, he campaigned for Trump too. U.S. strikes Iran energy asset. Tehran vows retaliation. Iran intel chief killed. Trump muses on finishing off terrorist race. The latest headline at Zero Hedge, which you can get a decent roundup. And if you read the, and I was just reading it, the analyses of this from Shanaka Anselm Pereira. Where is the world going to get the urea to make the blue stuff that goes in diesel trucks in the United States? It's called DEF, D-E-F. You know, we've done shows on DEF before, and you need the urea, basically a form of cow pee, but you can get it from distilling ammonia too. You need the urea to make the DEF. Well, if you've just set ablaze the world's largest gas field, where consistently large supplies of gas come from to make urea or to make ammonia, what is that going to do to the price of diesel and DEF? Now, this just in. Israeli Defense Minister Katz announced that Israel is changing the tactic and is going for an assassination on every Iranian official. Significant surprises are expected today across all fronts that will escalate the war to a new level. Also, now they're escalating. We have authorized the IDF to eliminate any Iranian official once a targeting circle has been closed on them, without the need for additional approval. What happens when you assassinate all the leaders and then the people of Iran are like, you can't assassinate our leaders like that. Only we can assassinate our leaders like that. And decide that they're not only not going to become Jeffersonian Democrats, but they're going to become radical Shia Muslim extremists. Are the people of the United States comfortable with using nuclear weapons is really the only question that I have remaining. Because these people are, folks, this escalation, this is satanic here. God is not behind this, Ambassador Huckabee. If he were, he doesn't need you to carry it out. God can make a volcano the size of Pinatubo in Iran if he wanted to eliminate those people. So this is the insane season. Now they're debating the Save America Act on the floor of the Senate. Save America by what? Ending the... Magdalene Rose, what do you have to say about all this? What are young people saying about all this?
They don't understand why we're in this war. And it's not something that's changing. It's the same thing every day. I think that Trump has really missed his mark in having a legacy of being a massive peacemaker. It's very sad. I don't get it. Like, I get a lot of things with politics. I don't understand this. And then we keep seeing people like Lindsey Graham and others come out and defend it. I mean, if there's a Republican senator who has less traction with young people than Lindsey Graham, I'd love to see them.
Bill O'Reilly. Maggie, do you have digital media file number 13? I'm glad I'm not alone in this, although, Magdalene, you may want to stay clear of me lest you bring the wrath of Bree Dale, of Cheese Dale, down upon your head. And all of the other, these leftard women are insane. They're just crazy. Here's what O'Reilly thinks about this, just for poops and giggles.
They don't care, in general, the EU and NATO, about what Iran does or what their potential for violence is. And the reason they don't care is they don't like Israel. Across the board in Europe, Israel's got no friends there. None. Now, you can go back in history, you can do anti-Semitism. I don't know exactly why that is, but it's there. It has been there for thousands of years. And that is part of the equation. But they're weak. Collectively speaking, Europe is a very weak continent.
Not anymore.
Asia, much stronger than. But the Asians aren't stepping up either. So the USA is alone in dismantling Iran, along with Israel, of course, but pretty much alone. And that is not a good situation.
The Europeans... Why doesn't a Christian American understand this con? I don't understand it. I know some of these people. But I'm not going to pull a Tucker Carlson and go, I know some of these people. They're good people. They think there's not. If you believe this line of malarkey about Christian Zionism, I'm sorry. I think you're a blithering fool idiot. Your IQ, you're what Trump calls a low IQ person. Christianity, if I say Catholicism, Magdalene, let's just pretend it's pre-1966. Okay? Hop in a KingDude's Wayback Machine. I'm going to give you a scenario. Let's pretend it's pre-1966 and promulgation of the new Missale Romane from Pope Paul VI, all right? It's 1964. You go anywhere in the world and you go to a Catholic church and you go to fulfill your Sunday obligation and you go to Mass. Now, I'm not talking about the exceptional Ambrosian rites and all that stuff and the Byzantine. And I know all about it. I'm just talking about your garden variety Catholic church anywhere on earth. What are you going to hear, Magdalene?
Mass.
The same one.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
The same one. The same missal. The same readings. The same gospel. The same introit. The same collect. The same communion, same post-communion, same saint of the day. Everything is the same. Catholic in Greek means universal, katolika, universal. So it is the universal church. Now, I bring this up. Okay, so if I go in 1965, after the promulgation of the Immaculate Conception and the other dogma that was promulgated by Pius the 11th, and I go say something about that anywhere in the world, every Catholic alive has conformed their mind to the dogma. There is no question on the Immaculate Conception. None. This much.
0.0.
You will have complete and total agreement. It doesn't matter if you're in NATO France, NATO Germany, NATO Sweden. It doesn't matter. If you're in South America, you will have complete and total hegemony. Now, why do I bring that up? If Christian Zionism were applicable to all, quote, Christians, close quote, then everyone in Europe, then you'd have French Zionists, right?
Right.
You'd have German Christian Zionists. You'd have English. There may be some English still. You'd have South American. You'd have Spanish Christian Zionists. You'd have Christian Zionism everywhere. Well, you just heard O'Reilly. I don't know about what O'Reilly was referencing, but my point is that you would have unanimity on it. So this is obviously not a Christian thing then, because it's not universal. And I just want people to think about this. If you're one of these people, how could it possibly be that only the Christians in the United States are responsible for the annihilation of Iran and the preservation of the geopolitical state of Israel? This doesn't make any sense. That is just a nonsensical, incredibly stupid thing to say.
Well, I think that what's happening here as well is that Europe is not falling for anything. And this is what you're discussing, like the idea that we in the United States are so against any foreign nation in our elections or anything, and yet Trump is being influenced very heavily by one of them. And the reporting around Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, and I think Steve Witkoff on his own has done great work in returning hostages to his own credit. But when you bring in Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff to run your foreign policy, you cannot then be surprised when Israel has a deciding vote or influence in what happens. And this is like what I talked about earlier this week. I'm very frustrated at the bringing back of Jared Kushner, because it was not my understanding or the understanding of Trump's voters in 2024 that we would see Jared Kushner at anything but family events. I think that the Kushners lied and misdirected by having Ivanka put out that statement that she wouldn't be involved. We all took that to mean neither of them would be involved, and that has not been the case.
Well, as if the insanity is not already at a peak, and there are people are just now absolutely just absurdly just crazy now. Just moments ago, former Speaker Newt Gingrich, instead of fighting over a 21-mile wide bottleneck forever, here's my idea. We cut a new channel through friendly territory, a dozen thermonuclear detonations if you've got a waterway wider than the Panama Canal, deeper than the Suez, and safe from Iranian attacks. Dude, what do you do about the radiological fallout? The man is talking about cutting a new. Well, first of all, you kind of need the permission of the Saudi Arabians that you're going to take their land and you're going to cut your new channel. Detonate a dozen thermonuclear bombs to cut a new channel. Oh, and everyone's just, okay, who's going to be the first to sail through it? Is no one going to talk about the ecological consequences of doing this? You know, anyone that is to the east of your dozen thermonuclear detonations gets whacked with an incredible amount of nuclear radiation. This is a solution now.
Well, I think a lot of this is also that the older neocons and people who we would hold in better esteem but have slipped into that, they want to play with the war toys. Like, let's be honest, there's a little bit of that going on. Some people want to wage war because they think it's cool and that Trump will win when he does it. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but if you look at the people backing this, I think a little bit of it is like, oh, I want to play with the bullets and the missiles and the nukes. I want to have fun with that. It's kind of like everything's a video game. And I cannot understand, like when Trump goes in for his political briefing, whenever that is at the day or the week, who is briefing him? Who is telling him the realities of this war? Because if nobody is, not only is he not informed about what's going on, people could be lying to him. They could be telling him it's a very highly supported war. I would love to know his political briefings. Like the comms director for the White House, Chung, he's very much a hard writer. He's in no way an interventionist. What is he saying to the president about how people view this? Like, those are the questions I have at this point.
Well, okay, well, let me throw something else into this. If you cut a new canal, all right, let's just say that this insane idea where to actually go off. You know, the first thing they tell us is there's no such thing as nuclear fallout. The left wing has been lying about it since the 1970s. There's no such thing as nuclear fallout? That's right, because when we detonate bombs in the Bikini Atoll, you know that the wildlife, that the fisheries, that the detonations in the Bikini Atoll, the reason we stopped them is because you were killing that part of the Pacific Ocean. But in any event, the Iranians' missiles fly for thousands of miles. It doesn't matter if you take a left turn at Albuquerque, Newt, and you circumvent the peninsula that is there where the Strait of Hormuz and you go the other way. They still are going to shoot you. I think, you know what I think I'm going to go do today? I think I'm going to go to the DMV and I am going to change my voter registration to independent. And I'm going to take my voter ID card. I'm going to burn it. I'm going to officially sacrifice. I'm going to film the whole thing. And I'm going to say, I no longer want to be I don't want to be anywhere near you lunatics. You people are insane. Now, and then there's this. While all of this is going on, no arrest in the Epstein case, not a single person who persecuted President Trump as a citizen has been arrested. Not one. The FBI director has time to make his own Nike shoe? Are you flipping kidding me?
I know. It's horrifying. I'm so past believing anything will happen with the Epstein files. You mentioned that, and I was like, oh, right, that happened. Like, I have no faith anymore. And that's sad. But it's not like my main issue, but it's very frustrating. And if you look at what Donald Trump is doing, I mean, the level of in a problem that Vance is now because of this war and Rubio. You know, Mark Wayne Mullen, our incoming Homeland Security Secretary, I think this is interesting because he was somebody that I had always heard young conservatives liked, like they feel like there's no scandals in his family. He's doing his hearings, and I think that we should look at people like him in the 2028 pool because this war is going to hurt so many on our bench. We're going to need like a cowboy. Yeah, we're going to need like a cowboy with no backing in this just to get through the primary.
Kash Patel's customized Nikes. The shoe features a number 9. Patel is the 9th FBI director. A Punisher skull, a vigilante killer from Marvel Comics, and his personal logo, K, $, H. The backs of the shoes show the FBI motto, fidelity, bravery, integrity. Patel was photographed wearing them at an FBI Academy event that featured UFC fighters. He has...
Should he have a logo? Should he have one? Like, think about, like, can you imagine if John Ratcliffe, our CIA director, had his own personal logo and he was putting it on swag? It's craziness. Now I know why they never found Nancy Gumfrey's mother. He was very busy with other things.
The most exciting thing, sane thing I saw yesterday was Elon Musk in a green top hat with his mother at St. Patrick's Day party somewhere. That was the highlight of my day on the internet yesterday. I got called a schismatic. I'm now an honorary member of the Muslim Brotherhood, and I'm an Islamist. And this is just the crazy season. These people are this is like a clown circus. This is embarrassing. This is a complete and total embarrassment now.
Yeah, you were very busy yesterday then, because the amount of nonsense that is going on in this administration. I mean, look at Pam Bondi, for example. They want her to come in and testify and everything. She's not going to tell us anything. She is the most ineffective attorney general, and Trump has had some ineffective attorney generals. But at least Jeff Sessions was also handling the immigration stuff. Like, people forget this. Jeff Sessions was a very hard right guy. He was one of the first to endorse Trump in 2016. And although he completely failed Donald Trump on all personal legal matters, he was very aggressive with drug cartels, with the border. He assisted local DAs in stopping left-wing lunacy. Pam Bondi doesn't do any of that. She does nothing. She just sits there and she says a couple things, and every now and then she indicts a drug lord that even the Obamas would have indicted. It is an ineffective attorney generalship.
I don't know if this is verifiable just yet, but the British National Security Advisor that was part of the negotiations between the Iranians and the U.S. just said, we regarded Witkoff and Kushner as Israeli assets that dragged a president into a war he wants to get out of. He can't get out of it now. If you get out of it, well, if you pull out, and look, 2 days ago, we don't need their stupid ships. We don't need NATO. They made a big mistake. He sent Caroline Levitt out to go an interview on Fox News this morning to say this was the biggest blunder NATO has ever made. This is the biggest blunder that the EU countries have ever made. I think that this is probably the smartest thing the EU countries have ever done.
I wholeheartedly agree. Somebody's making good choices at the EU. It's probably Macron, because Macron, I think, is aggressively realistic about things in a good way. Macron, I think, said to EU nations, no, we're not getting involved in this, because the United States didn't invoke Article 5. And this is what Trump, I think, doesn't want to hear. We didn't invoke Article 5. We didn't say that Iran attacked us. If that happened, NATO would get involved. If they'd blown up California, we would all understand why we're in this war. If they'd blown up our vessels, all these things. They didn't do any of that. So to the EU, good job. Your leaders are taking care of you in this one rare instance.
They want to now talk about, okay, they're going to have a 60-vote threshold on the Save America Act. Schumer is going to hold that caucus. You're not going to, I don't think you're going to peel any Democrats off. And you need 6 of them or 7 of them to get this thing out of to end the filibuster soon. The only shot that you have is to change the filibuster rule. That's the only prayer that there is. There is no other shot. So the Democrats are going to cheat. The country is going to literally be on fire. Everything that the things that were promised about war and pestilence and America being great again and America first and all that have all been thrown out the window now. Folks, we have no idea what it will be like to live under a Democrat-controlled Congress. They have told us. They get power back, the arrests begin. This is, it's just, I'm just going to play Monty Python, Bright Side of Life at the end of all this, because it seems to me that the only thing you can do is just whistle about the bright side of life. Look, it's Lent. And I guess that the thing that you could do now is to give thanks for the little mortifications that you're getting right now. Hey, look, they say Caroline Lebanon. Oh, we struck 7,800 missile sites and 7,800 with bunker busters. They're still shooting. You said all they had left were bottle rockets 3 days ago. It's 4 days ago now. All they had left was bottle rockets. They're still firing missiles. Now they have Chinese satellite guidance on the missiles. Always look on the bright side of life. I think really that is just, I think that's my plan for the rest of the day, Magdalene, to wistful look on the bright side of life.
Well, it's not a bad plan. I'm willing to go down with that plan. I think it's a plan based in more solidness than whatever this war is. And a lot of the criticism Trump is getting repeatedly, he's upset about because he feels like people aren't supporting him and other world leaders aren't supporting him. Nobody knows why we're doing this. Like, I don't believe that the European leaders necessarily know more than we do about why we're even in this war. So you can't be upset when people don't join into things you don't even share why they're happening. And if you're Putin right now, I mean, I think you're looking around, you're like, so I can just continue invading Ukraine. It's all cool because Donald Trump's distracted with that. I mean, Zelensky is like, you would think the apocalypse happened to Zelensky because he feels that no one's paying attention to the Ukraine war anymore. Nobody is. This has ensured the Ukraine war will go on for as long as Putin wants it
to. This has ensured all things that you didn't want to happen are now probably going to happen. And the people that are cheering this, I mean, there was a delusional, there was a mass hysteria event sometime in the 17th century. And I want to say it was in either Norway or Finland. It's the yellow, they call it the yellow, I think it's the yellow lily or the yellow poppy event. I never really studied it, but I've seen people reference it before as what you don't want to happen, which is the people were convinced and believed basically that this yellow flower had that the pollen that was coming from this yellow flower was getting into the air, and it had a pre-modern day version of nerve gas in it, basically. And that if they didn't kill all the yellow poppies or lilies or whatever it was, that they were all going to die of some hideous, horrible disease that they were getting from it. And it wasn't true. The whole thing wasn't true is the point. But apparently it was a mass hysteria event, and everyone, and most people that were living wherever it was at the time believed it and started acting accordingly. You now have Mark Levin and Bree Dale and Ben Shapiro fashioning a reality, telling people what it is, and it's not a reality, telling people what it is, and people are believing it. As if they're, oh, okay, that's what's happening. No, that's not what's happening. You know, and the egomaniac that is Trump, you know, did you see today that TPUSA got kicked off the University of Arkansas?
Oh, yeah. And they did that because the leader of that chapter feels something that I can understand, where it's like if you question anything now in Turning Point, not the weird Candace Owens questioning, like actual questioning of what to do and the mission and everything. All they say to you is, well, Charlie would have wanted this and Charlie would have wanted that. That's great. You can say that to Charlie Kirk's kids when they're like 18 and misbehaving. You cannot say that to grown-ups
18 and misbehaving.
right now. Yeah, you can't use that as doctrine of an organization. I get why they're doing it, but it's not tracking.
All right, Magdalene, thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, God willing, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
I think that I think I found the song. I think I actually am going to take us out, not with, well, afterwards. I'll play the Red, White, and Dude Nation anthem. I think that I am going to take us out with Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. I think it's good, sound advice today, ladies and gentlemen. News breaks out, heaven forfend, we will break in. I'm going to try to bring you the James Fishback press conference announcement, or whatever it is, that his statement he's going to make at outside the Capitol building at 11 a.m. Eastern, I believe it's scheduled. That would be 10 Central. If it's available, you'll hear it. And you'll see it on the YouTube channel. So that's coming up. If not, tomorrow is, it's another day, folks, here. Remember, my interview with Steve Cunningham of Census Fidelium, all 367,000 subscribers strong, comes out tonight at 7, debuts at Census Fidelium. So you might want to catch that. Upgrade your membership today and have access and gain access immediately to the real history and heresy of Christian Zionism, 4-part series I put together from Brother Andre Marie. Of course, a new Reconquest, I saw it's already scheduled, is coming up today as well, and on the site at crusadechannel.com. Check out the new membership medal levels, the Dude Nation membership medal levels at mikechurch.com/join. That's mikechurch.com/join. Have a safe and blessed remainder of this day. Pray for peace, folks. Pray for an end to this insanity, for a restoration of peace and sane people. And again, where do we jump off from here? Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
Some things in life
God bless you and Mary keep you.
Really make you mad.
St. Cyril of Alexander, pray for us.
Swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. And this'll help things turn out for the best. And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life. If life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten, and that's to laugh and smile and dance and sing. When you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Just purse your lips and whistle, that's the thing.